Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2.
Check 1 2 3 4. Reporting from Miami.
It's time to crank up some football. Bethune-Cookman Wildcat Sports is on the air. Head coach Raymond Woody Jr. has the Wildcats fired up and ready to go.
It's all about the technique, fundamentals, attention to detail.
The players are locked in.
The standard, being smart, fast, physical, and aggressive, that's something that we live by every day.
And the crowd is on their feet.
It's go time.
It's time to send it to the field with the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Torello, on the CatEye Radio Network.
Well, live from Hard Rock Stadium in Coral Gables, just north of Miami, Florida. This evening's presentation of Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. The Cat is on the air. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company as the Maroon and Gold get set for a top-tier test against FBS number 5 ranked Miami, the highest-ranked opponent in BCU football history. Former BCU football player Johnny Vickers will join us later on, but for pregame, we've got Daryl Natil here in the booth to break down all the action. Daryl, going into this game where the score may end up being out of hand, what kinds of things are you looking for from the Wildcats tonight?
We're looking for a little progress like we did last week. You know, we saw the running backs and the receivers play well. We had 346 total yards last weekend. So you want to see the Wildcats continue to work on their offense and work on the defense and see some positive things out of your young kids.
Last Friday night, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats began their 2025 season just 25 miles to the southwest as the crow flies, as they took on Florida International for the 5th time in program history. FIU ended up besting the Cats 42-9 in the first ever victory for the Panthers over BCU. They were previously 0-4. BCU took an early 3-0 lead with Cam Ransom connecting with Javon Ross for a 59-yard scamper on the opening drive to set up Juan Dominguez's first field goal as a Wildcat from 35 yards away. However, the BCU offense would stall out after that, not getting another first down until deep into the second quarter, as the FIU offense rattled off 4 straight rushing touchdowns to make it 28-3. After Ransom's early struggles, transfer quarterback Timmy McClain came in and engineered a 12-play, 70-yard drive with 4 completions to newcomer Ricky Shaw that set up another Dominguez field goal to make it 28-6 at halftime. The second half was more the same as the Maroon and Gold only managed 1 more field goal in the fourth quarter, and FIU continued to pound the ball on the ground, ending the night with 6 rushing touchdowns in the 42-9 final. The Wildcats' rushing defense, bottom 5 nationally in 2024, was once again the big question mark as FIU rushed for 223 yards and the aforementioned 6 touchdowns. The defensive secondary also gave away opportunities, dropping 5 would-be interceptions. Offensively, the Cats struggled on the ground, getting just 105 rushing yards on 3.5 yards per carry, but proved they can be a threat in the pass game, outpassing FIU 241 yards to 233. I spoke with head coach Raymond Woody Jr. this week to get his perspective on the FIU game and what he's looking to get out of the matchup against Miami. I'm here with Coach Woody before the Wildcats take on Miami this Saturday evening. Coach, week 1 against FIU, obviously the final score wasn't what you wanted, but in these kind of pre-conference games, there's always something to take away about your team, especially first time out.
Oh, yeah. Well, the guys, they've been being a 10 on the technique and the fundamentals of what we need to clean up our first week out. Now going into this week, we expect fundamentals and techniques a whole lot better. That's what we've been emphasizing on.
What are some positives you can look from last week's game? Is it a player that stood out or a unit that stood out?
Well, I tell you what, pound for pound, he's probably the smallest on our team, Javon Ross. He really showed. And then obviously Timmy, had some good moments as well. And I think the offensive line, stood their own too.
Are you looking for similar things results-wise against Miami this week, just improving technique, improving fundamentals, or are you looking for something more substantial?
Well, we want to get better each week, on the things that I spoke about, and we got to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to, stop the run, and that team is a top 10 team. Coach Cristobal does a great job. He and I coach alongside each other. 2017, he's a hell of a coach, and he got his guys playing, at a high level, and we just got to go in and don't self-inflict and play disciplined football.
Scheme-wise, is there anything you've changed this week to combat Miami?
No, they got players. I don't care what you do. They're going to have players pound for pound. They got some of the top players in the country, and they're big time. We got some of the top players, too, that's going to go out and give it all they have, And like I said, it's always good to play a team in the state of Florida, and especially you from Florida. Guys played, teammates, guys played against each other in high school. So it'll be a good experience. It's a big-time experience, for the guys, and we're excited.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
The VCU offense came out and showed a little bit more creativity than in previous season openers in the first game for Dante Pimpleson as offensive coordinator. He opened up the playbook and got almost 350 yards in total offense. The major benefactor was quarterback Timmy McClain, who went 18 of 28 with 164 yards and no interceptions. Cam Ransom saw limited action, just going 5 for 10 for 77 yards, with 59 of those coming on one play to Javon Ross. Speaking of Ross, the sophomore out of DeLand was the star of the show, holding in 6 catches for 109 yards to lead all receivers in the game. Ricky Shaw, a transfer from Wofford, had 5 receptions for 52 yards, and last year's leading receiver Malik Huggins caught 3 for 32. The Cats struggled to run the ball as in previous seasons. Marquis Johnson, the former All-Big Sky running back at Montana State, led the way with 9 carries for 76 yards. Ali Scott went 5 for 29, and true freshman Juan Rodriguez ran the ball 3 times for 9 yards, but also fumbled once. The only player to score for VCU in week 1 was kicker Juan Dominguez, his 3 field goals. I talked to him after practice on Thursday to get his perspective on his VCU debut, his journey from Venezuela to Daytona Beach, and the pressure of kicking in big stadiums. I'm now joined by Juan Dominguez here on the CatEye Network pregame show as we get ready for Bethune-Cookman football against Miami. Juan, for any of those who in Wildcat Nation who don't know who you are, explain your football journey and how you got here to Bethune-Cookman.
I was a soccer player growing up from Venezuela, Valencia, Venezuela. Came over to the United States and didn't play football till my senior year. Kicked some balls. It went well. And I had 2 years where, I really trained after high school, walked on to Bethune-Cookman last year, and it's been all right from there.
It's been more than all right. 3 for 3 in your first start against FIU. How was that experience for you?
I just go out there. I trust my long snapper Cole and my holder Max tremendously. We work every day, and doesn't matter the opponent, doesn't matter where I'm at. It's the same system, the same steps, routine that you do, and you just do that and don't let where you're at matter.
What goes through your mind when you step out on the field and get ready to kick a field goal?
Not much, to be honest. Just follow the same 3 steps. Look, target line, take your steps, and once you're back there in your back stance, my mind kind of goes blank and let your body do your training and trust your training.
So it doesn't matter that you're playing in a 50,000-seat stadium, big stadium this week?
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I said, the same. Doesn't matter if you're kicking in a backyard here or a 50,000 stadium. A kick is the same. A kick is a kick, you know.
How has it been working with all the coaches and all of your teammates the last 2 years?
It's been really well. I mean, Coach Tobridge came in and he's been a huge help. I mean, he understands recovery for kickers and stuff like that. I mean, that goes a long way. And then my teammates, I mean, the special teams room is special. I mean, we're all really close, really good friends, and I mean, it's been great.
Thank you for your time. Good luck this week.
Thank you. You as well.
BCU's defensive struggles from 2024 continued last Friday, giving up over 450 yards of total offense to the Panthers of Florida International, 223 of those yards on the ground. Individually, Antoine Watts led the way with 7 tackles. Johnny Harris had 6, including 2 tackles for loss, and Naeem Lassiter, Malik Stinnett, and Stephen Sparrow each had 5. The Wildcats did not record a sack in their Week 1 game, and as mentioned at the top of the show, dropped 5 should-have-had-'em interceptions. 2 of those would likely have gone back for 6. I spoke to linebacker Stephen Sparrow Jr. this week about how it felt to be back on the field after a long off-season, his plans for stopping the run against Miami, and how he feels going into his senior season after spending his entire college career at Bethune-Cookman. I'm now joined by Stephen Sparrow here on the Wildcat pregame show as we get ready for Bethune-Cookman against Miami here on Saturday evening. Stephen, your first game of the season back against FIU. How did it feel to finally be back in action?
First of all, thanks for having me. It was a blessing just to be back on the field. My guys was rooting for me. Just wanted to go hard, get back into that football touch.
How good was it to finally hit someone other than your teammates, get out there for the first time?
It was actually great to actually be able to hit somebody other than my teammate. Had a different color, but just also being able to not be offense, defense, and show that we could be a whole team.
What was your thoughts overall on the game against FIU? Yes, the score didn't end up being the way you wanted, but I'm sure there's some positives to take away.
I mean, it's always positive through everything. I feel like the positive was just showing where we were at, where we are, and what we need to work on. I feel like, our eyes have just been open in terms of just like, just from a defensive standpoint, like we made sure that we didn't get beat over the top. We was mainly in coverage. Most of the time, if you watch the film, it was just one guy, usually just not in position to make a play. It was getting check downs and just putting us in penalties, same as always, putting us in, shooting ourselves in the foot, not necessarily us being in bad situations.
And this week against Miami, what are you looking for specifically?
Stopping the run. I want to hold them to under 100 yards. We gave up over 200 yards against FIU, and I feel like the biggest thing we need to show as a defense is that we need to stop the run. I know I got a lot of weight on my shoulders from playing the Mike position this week, but I'm very confident, secure that we're going to stop the run this week because that's what's mainly important for us.
You're a career Wildcat now going into your senior year. What does it mean to you in the age of the transfer portal, and it seems like everybody's moving every year to play your entire career here at one organization?
I don't know. I'm a Wildcat at heart. Just a blessing to be here. Blessed for the opportunity, and just thankful that I continue to have a spot here at BCU.
Thank you. Good luck this week.
Thank you so much.
Getting the Miami perspective going into this matchup isn't going to be hard to figure out if you've been keeping up with the national college football landscape early in the season. The Hurricanes are coming off one of the best wins in recent memory, a 27-24 triumph over preseason number 6 Notre Dame last Sunday, a win that saw the team from South Florida rocket to number 5 in the FBS rankings going in to Week 2, making them the highest-ranked opponent in BCU football history, dethroning a game against then number 8 Florida State in 2013. Let's dive deeper into the storm that is the Miami Hurricane football in this week's edition of the Opponent Report. Transfer quarterback Carson Beck is the main man for Miami. He transferred in from Georgia after the offseason. He was 20 of 31 for 205 touchdowns in the win over Notre Dame at Hard Rock Stadium last Sunday. Under fourth-year head coach Mario Cristobal, former compatriot of Raymond Woody Jr. in 2017 in Oregon. The Hurricanes rose 5 spots nationally after last week's win over the Fighting Irish. Notable names for the Hurricanes include the aforementioned Beck, Beck was featured in several preseason awards watch lists, including the Davey O'Brien Award, Walter Camp Player of the Year Award, the Maxwell Award, and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Beck passed for nearly 3,400 yards and 28 touchdowns, just 12 interceptions in 2024. 10 other Hurricanes, most notably defensive lineman Reuben Bain Jr., received national preseason accolades as we get ready to go, as here come the Hurricanes running out of the tunnel just under our broadcast position out to their sparse crowd here at Hard Rock Stadium. Just before we go, Daryl, your final thoughts before you head down to the field and do some sideline for us tonight.
You know, you heard Coach Woody say you want to continue to work on the techniques and stuff. That's what we got to do. You know, playing against a team that's number 5 in the country, all you can do is measure yourself up and really get ready and geared up for the rest of the season. Look for the Cats to play well this afternoon.
Thank you, Daryl. We'll hear from you at halftime and the end of the game. I now want to bring in Johnny Vickers as here come the Canes. They're about to run out of the tunnel in front of us. Johnny, we spoke at length on Hail Wildcats Radio, where if you've been listening to WELE earlier on this afternoon to get us ready, you heard our thoughts. But for those of the audience who didn't turn in, right, what do you take away from a game like this where you know the score is going to be lopsided?
Well, what you're really wanting to do, especially for the coaches, what the coaches are looking for, they're looking for those players and those athletes who are not going to quit. They understand going into this game that they are the underdog. They understand that everybody is projecting this to be a blowout. However, regardless of what everybody else and how everybody else perceives how this game is going to be, they're looking for them to come out and at any and every chance they get, come and hit somebody in the mouth.
What do you want to see that would make this a successful trip to South Florida if you're a Wildcats fan?
Well, on the offensive side of the ball, I want to see the offense protect the ball, right? Take what the defense gives them, right? Let's not try to force anything that's not there. And then, of course, the biggest thing is stay healthy. On the defensive side of the ball, we need to play assignment, sound, disciplined football. We don't need to give up too many big plays. And then, again, stay healthy. And then for both sides of the ball, we need to limit careless penalties.
Your uniform matchup tonight is a pretty good one. The Wildcats in maroon helmets with a gold logo, all gold interlocking BC on the back, Bethune script on the side, number on the other side, gold jerseys with maroon numbers and a white trim, and maroon pants. And we heard through the grapevine there may be some new uniforms coming both next week and the home opener against Edward Waters, so stay tuned for that. The Miami Hurricanes in their traditional white lids with the green and orange U, orange jerseys with the green and orange stripe on the sleeve, white numbers with a green trim, white pants with a green stripe down the middle surrounded by orange piping. It's always good to see, if not a packed stadium, at least there's some crowd showed out tonight for Miami. I'd wager about half full is Hard Rock Stadium right now. And against Bethune-Cookman, obviously you wouldn't expect the sellout that they had last week against Notre Dame, but good to see that the players will get some energy from it, of course, as well.
Absolutely. I don't know if the people heard it through our microphones that we have here, but it is, though the stadium is not packed, I mean, it's loud here, and so there's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of cheering. They booed us as we came out, which when you're the opposing team, you love to hear. You feed off of that.
The coin toss is going on right now. Miami has won the toss. Miami will defer to the second half, so Bethune-Cookman will get the ball first, as they did last week. Last week, they went down the field, marched it down, got 3-0 lead early. I'd love to see something similar, especially if Tim McClain starts over Cam Ransom. We still don't know which of the quarterbacks will come out first for the Wildcats.
Yeah, one of the things you don't want to do against this Miami team, number 5 in the nation, is come out timid. Right? You cannot come out timid to this team. They will smell the blood in the water, so to speak, and they will try to do everything they can do to rattle you. So what we can do is show them that we're not afraid, even though we are the underdogs, to be able to, just make sure that we stay as best as we can in this game.
We are on the opposite side of the field from where the broadcast cameras are, tucked in the corner behind the end zone. So one of the most unique broadcast perspectives in the country here at Miami today. Once again, Michael Turillo, Johnny Vickers, Daryl Natil down at the sideline. Sabrina Petit-Holm will be joining us tonight to give her analysis as well. It's a full house of Wildcat crew here in the booth, and we're so ready to bring this one to you. Marquis Johnson will stand with his toes on the goal line right in front of the Miami word mark as Carter Davis, the senior transfer from FAU, puts the ball in the air out of the back of the end zone, and the Wildcats will come out to the 25-yard line. A bit of pushing and shoving there late on the non-existent return blocking there. Looks like Ray Joseph from Miami and a Wildcat player that I didn't get to locking arms a little bit coming down the field.
That's okay. Like I said, this Miami team, they're known to try to come out and intimidate. So if they push, you push back, of course, but you do it in between the whistles so you don't get penalized.
It'll be Timmy McLean to start on offense for the maroon and gold. They'll go right to left as we see it at the 25-yard line. Christian Loving, the starting center. The starting running back is Ali Scott Jr. on the left hip of McLean. Scott takes the handoff running left into a pile and gets back to the original line of scrimmage and nothing more. Ruben Bain Jr., the all-everything defensive end, makes the stop. Had 6 tackles, a tackle for loss, a sack, a pass defense, and an interception against Notre Dame last week.
Yeah, our offensive line has to come out aggressive against this Miami defensive line, which almost are probably all projected first-rounders in the NFL draft.
We got Ruben Bain Jr., David Blay, Mohamed Moten, and Akeem Mesidor, the starting 4 up front for the Hurricanes. 2nd down and 10 from the 25. McLean with Scott to his left. 4 receivers in the pattern, 3 left, single right. The one on the right is Malik Huggins. Snap to McLean. He'll run around the left-hand side, get to the 25, get to the 30 at the boundary, and be run out of bounds near the 29-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. That was not a very generous spot. Only gave him 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Wildcats keeping it simple right now. First 2 plays, run, short yardage situations. Now we go 3rd and long on this first drive.
3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats at the 27-yard line of Miami. Everybody tight to the formation. All 4 receivers in between the numbers.
Looks like a blitz.
Wouldn't be surprised if Miami brings some heat here. They do blitz the backside of McLean. He'll toss it out to the left side. Ali Scott Jr. makes the catch at the 35-yard line and is pummeled immediately by Chase Smith. And it looks like he's just short of the first down, and the Wildcats will elect to punt deep in their own territory. But not a bad play call.
Not a bad play call, getting the running back out into the flat, seeing if he can get an angle on the linebacker, but playing very, very good assignment football, was able to make an open field tackle to bring up 4th down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Chase Smith, who made that tackle, a redshirt senior out of Palm Bay Bayside High School. 4-star prospect out of high school, number 13 athlete nationally coming out of high school. You're going to be seeing a lot of 4 stars, 5 stars, top 10 at their position, top 10 nationally. The accolades file in for these Miami players coming in, as we're going to go to an immediate review to see if Ali Scott picked up the first down.
Yeah, and if he
does, was very close from our, to be fair, not very good angle.
No, ladies and gentlemen, when we say we are in the corner of this stadium, we are in the corner of this stadium. So it's very difficult for us to be able to see yardage and markers where we are. So please bear with us as best as possible.
We do have a monitor in the booth. If they show it, which they will right now, we'll see. The pass was out to Scott. He made the catch at the, he's definitely short.
He looks to be a little short.
I wonder if I'm honestly wondering, and actually I'm going to correct on the tackle. It was Wesley Biasaint who'd made the tackle, not Chase Smith. I wonder if they're looking at this for targeting, because Biasaint definitely looked like he led with the helmet. Did he lower the helmet far enough to be a penalty?
this could be a targeting call. We will have to see. This may not be a place of possession as far as down is concerned. This looks like it could be a targeting call.
So Wesley Biasaint is currently being targeted for a targeting call against Ali Scott Jr., who caught a pass in the flat on 3rd and 8. They got 6 yards, ended up 2 yards short of the first down. Biasaint, a senior out of Miami Central High School, a career Miami Hurricane, but former top 20 player in Florida, according to 24/7 Sports, coming out of high school. 133 tackles in his Miami career, now spanning 4 years.
Wow, and what you just said, in this day and age of college football, is very rare. 4 years at one school.
And there's a couple of those Miami players that are like that. I mean, Ruben Bain now entering his 4th season at Miami as a redshirt junior. Biasaint, Mohamed Toure, just on the defense alone, right? Damari Brown, the cornerback, has now been here 3 years. This is a program, especially as Mario Cristobal has built it up down here in South Florida, that players want to commit to, and it's working with playoffs potentially on the horizon for the Hurricanes this year.
I mean, who doesn't want to come and play for Miami? Miami historically has been one of the schools, one of the big three, I should say, in Florida that typically young Florida kids want to gravitate to. In fact, back in the day, Howard Schnellenberger used to call it the United States of Miami. Anything I-4 and below, he wanted that kid. And so, Miami is just one of those places. And our guys who are from this way are playing against some of the guys they played with from high school, middle school, even as far back to Pee Wee and Pop Warner. And so they know some of these guys over here. Yeah. And so when you have that type of competition, it's always like partly a family. You know what I mean? To be able to play high levels of football against people you played with your whole life. And it looks like the Red Hat is walking off the field, but they're still reviewing this play.
We're checking if Wesley Biasaint has targeted Ali Scott Jr. on a little flare out on 3rd and 8. He didn't get to the marker, picked up 6 yards, 2 yards short. The Wildcats were set to punt it away when we get to review. There is wow, I'm looking for the time left. It's not on any big board that I can see.
Well, I will say this.
This is the first drive of the game if you're just joining us. A minute 41 into the game.
I will say this, that even if it is targeting, it was not anything that was intentional. It wasn't a malicious hit.
The problem
it was just
is
a good football hit.
With targeting, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying.
If you leave with the crown of the helmet, it doesn't matter your intention or not. You're gone if they see targeting.
You're going to the first quarter of the next game.
Yeah. This is, you talked about Miami being a historic program. Of course, the Wildcats last season celebrated, hold on.
Targeting.
It is targeting on Biasaint.
And he looks disappointed. He is disappointed.
And he is tossed out of the game.
He's walking back to the locker room a little dejected. He's upset. He's very upset.
Their top Mike linebacker played 3 plays and has been ejected. So now the Wildcats are going to get a first down all the way up at midfield after that penalty.
Well, this is one of the things. Wildcats been having trouble sustaining drives, so hopefully we can make some things happen while we are just around the 50-yard line.
Right on midfield, 1st and 10. Correction, spot that ball at the 49-yard line of the Wildcats, going left to right, ball left hash. Here comes the blitz from the outside. They hand the ball off to Scott, makes a man miss, gets to the 50 and falls forward for a 2-yard gain to the Miami 49. They rushed right at the blitzing linebacker, Mohamed Toure.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are doing a great job trying to get to the open part of the field, but the Miami front 7 actually, are flying to the ball. They are flying to the ball, so you have to be quick because not too long after you break the line of scrimmage, there will be somebody on you.
Once again, it'll be Scott on the hip of McLean. 2-by-2 the receivers. Ball once again left hash. 2nd and 8 from the Miami 49 just across the midfield stripe. Snap to McLean, back to pass. Free rusher coming off the edge. He gets the pass away, and it's incomplete. well behind Javon Ross, the intended receiver. And good by McLean to see the rusher coming from the backside and just get that ball out of dodge.
Yeah, he had to get the ball out of his hands real quick because of the corner blitz that Miami had coming. His back was turned to it because he's a left-handed quarterback, and it was a blitz from the right side.
Yeah.
But he got it out of his hands. The DB jumped the ball pretty well, but it was still an incomplete pass. Wildcats live to see another play.
Keontae Scott, the nickel, was the man that made the blitz. Now 3rd down and 8 for the second straight time on this drive. They're at the Miami 49-yard line. In motion is Lorenzo Jenkins onto the right side. Scott takes a draw up the middle. Had a lane to the right, chose to go to the left, and he'll lose a yard back to the 50, and the Wildcats drive stalls there.
Wildcats continue to want to establish the running game against this Miami defense. I think that for Scott, he missed a nice size hole on the right-hand side, like you said, took it to the left. I think we might be a player away from breaking it, but we have to make sure that we are playing mistake-free football.
That's one thing that's almost a benefit of being back here almost in the end zone, is you can see those running lanes pretty clear because we're almost behind the play.
Yeah.
Max Tulin is going to punt the ball away. He'll stand at his own 35-yard line, rolling right, gets a low punt away, rolling end over end, bouncing at the 20, picked up at the 15-yard line. Great job by the Wildcat upman. The tackle made just past the 10-yard line. Keelan Marion, who was the returner on the play for Miami, got absolutely nada on that one, and the Hurricanes will be backed up deep to start their first drive.
Wildcats are able to stop the Hurricanes inside their 10-yard line. So great field position for our defense to start off. Now, like I said earlier in the pregame, we have to make sure that we limit the big plays, right? We got the new transfer, Carson Beck, who's coming from the University of Georgia, who is an experienced quarterback at this high level.
Beck's got Mark Fletcher Jr. on his left hip, going right to left. 1st and 10. The pass into the flat is complete at the 10, up to the 15, and up to the 17-yard line. The pass is complete to Shamar Brown. Oh, correction, Keelan Marion made the catch, and it'll be 2nd down and about 5.
Good job for the Wildcats getting out on that quick screen. Beck getting the ball out of his hands real quick to his receivers to try to make something happen downfield.
Nice fall forward from Marion after that catch. Ended up being 2nd down and 3 now. At the 17-yard line, they'll screen the ball out to the left-hand side this time. Pass caught by Malachi Tony. The dynamite freshman out of Fort Lauderdale American Heritage will pick up a 1st down for Miami near the 30-yard line.
Tony, the youngest college football player in the nation. He is only 17 years old, and he is making big plays out here.
They'll spot the ball at their own 29-yard line. Snap, fake the handoff, throw in the flat again. Pass caught by Tony at the 35, break the tackle to the 40, and almost gets to the 45-yard line before he is tackled by Stephen Sparrow, or correction, Gabe White was the man there for the Wildcats. Another 1st down Miami with...
It's difficult to see out here, ladies and gentlemen.
It's difficult
to see it in our position. So if there's a small delay, please work with us. Please work with us.
9:52 and counting to go first quarter. Still no score. Miami on their first drive of the game. 1st and 10. Here's the first handoff of the game. To the left-hand side. Through the hole goes Mark Fletcher Jr. He dives all the way to the Wildcat 40 for another 1st down, gain of 15. Fletcher the junior, another out of American Heritage.
Right now, no big plays the Wildcats are giving up, but it's just a slow, steady drive that the Hurricanes are having on this possession.
Up-tempo as well for Miami. They've already got the ball, snap, play action. Beck with plenty of time, looking deep over the middle. That pass is to the goal line. It is caught, and diving into the end zone for a touchdown is C.J. Daniels. He had an impressive leaping catch last week against Notre Dame. That one didn't look all too different as he barely got inside position on Johnny Harris and made him pay with a diving catch at the goal line.
Just a great pitch and catch from Beck to Daniels. I mean, athlete on athlete. Harris had pretty good position, but I mean, Daniels just made a heck of a play, diving to catch that ball.
Carter Davis on to attempt the extra point. Davis, who hit the game-winning field goal against Miami last week. It's a snap, hold, kick, and good. And with frustratingly, the time goes off the scoreboard whenever they show a replay. So 9:16 to go in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Miami. We'll get you the drive summary when we come back. This is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Nine minutes and 16 seconds to go in this evening's first quarter, live from Hard Rock Stadium. It's the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Miami Hurricanes. So the first Hurricane drive was a good one. 5 plays, 90 yards, 1 minute and 58 seconds off the clock, capped by a 40-yard touchdown from Carson Beck to C.J. Daniels. Beck, his 3rd touchdown pass of the year, had 2 last week, and Daniels has his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Now, of course, that one being a leaping grab to put the Wildcats up in the second half against Notre Dame last week. First drive as advertised for the Miami offense. They didn't do anything too good, outrageous.
Yeah, it wasn't anything
Screen left, run up the middle, deep ball.
Yeah, it wasn't anything amazing. Just play football, and then let's take a shot downfield. And when you have a quarterback like Carson Beck, you're probably never afraid to take that shot downfield.
Wildcats will get the ball again, and it's the former Florida Atlantic Owl, Carter Davis, set to kick off to the former All-Big Sky returner for the Wildcats in Marquis Johnson. Johnson is going to watch that one for the 2nd straight time sail over his head and out of the back of the end zone. The Wildcats will start at the 25. The Wildcats were aided on that first drive by that 15-yard targeting penalty to get into Miami territory, but have only picked up 7 total yards.
Yeah, and that's not going to do it. So hopefully for this drive, the Wildcats come out a little bit more aggressive, and we have a new running back on the field, Marquis Johnson.
Johnson to the right hip of McLean. Javon Ross goes out of the slot to the right. Huggins on the numbers right-hand side. Wildcats go right to left. Now Ross goes in motion before the snap. Lots of movement. Flags fly. False start Wildcats.
Like I said, unnecessary penalties. You can't get distracted in this type of environment. This environment is loud. It's rowdy. The fans are yelling at you, mocking you, taunting you, trying to get you everything to get you out of your game. So you have to be focused. You have to be disciplined playing in an environment like this when you're going up against the Hurricanes.
That'll move it back to the 20-yard line, 1st and 15 for the Wildcats. Last week, the Wildcats 8 penalties for 75 yards, and that's one of the things that we highlighted as something to clean up after the game against FIU. Here's first down, and 15. 3 receivers to aim at, 1 left, 2 right. They hand the ball off to Marquis Johnson. He stood up and dropped immediately by Akeem Mesidor for potentially a loss of 1. They'll mark him all the way back at the 19-yard line. 2nd down and 16 now.
You got to hold strong with this front 4 of Miami. Our line just got beat across their face and met the running back as he gets the mesh point from the quarterback. And if you're not careful, that in and of itself can lead to turnovers and fumbles.
Tight end Morales moves from left to right, now goes out into the pass pattern. Third down and long, they hand the ball off to the left-hand side. Marquis Johnson makes a cut at the left side boundary, gets out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line, and that'll be third down and 10.
Johnson trying to make a little something happen, getting to the outside with his legs. Miami with great pursuit from their secondary as the Wildcats get back to their original line of scrimmage.
Wildcats going to the boundary with a lot of these plays. They've gone up the middle a couple times and just been stuffed. Now it's third down and 10, back at the 25-yard line. Two in the pattern to each side. McClain with Johnson on his right hip. Hurricanes show pressure. They bring double pressure off the edge. It's a jump pass, screen to Johnson. He cuts back inside. He gets his helmet taken off by a brutal hit right at the 26-yard line.
I think any other place, Marquis Johnson is able to split those two defenders and get upfield. But the Miami defense closes so quickly on the ball, it's difficult to get extra yardage, especially after the catch. But good play to be able to get a little bit of yardage, to give yourself a little bit more room, to be able to hopefully have our punt game get us in the same position we were for the Miami's first drive.
Big hit by Zachariah Poser to stop the drive. Again, only a net positive of 2 yards on the drive for the Wildcats as they go 3 and out. Max Tulin punts the ball away. That's not a great punt. It's going to land at the Miami 40. Take a BCU roll back towards the 30 to the right-hand side towards the sideline. The Wildcats will surround it and down it at the 26-yard line. So a really good roll there for Max Tulin, but his contact the last couple of times has not been great on his punts.
Yeah, not necessarily a great punt, a better roll than it was a punt. And so sometimes you rely on that roll. Good job by our coverage team getting down the field to make sure that there's no return from that ball with Miami's dangerous returners.
Wildcats 17 total yards in their first 2 series. It'll be Miami ball again. First and 10 for the Hurricanes at their own 26-yard line, going left to right. Carson Beck with Mark Fletcher Jr. on his hip will hand the ball off to Fletcher, running to the left-hand side. He'll be strung out, pushes a defender, and then finally pushed out of bounds by Isaiah Washburn for a gain of about 5. We'll see where they spot it.
Good job by Miami. Hat on the hat, but good job by the Wildcats getting physical. They're getting blocked, but they're trying to make plays through the blocks, getting Fletcher out of bounds so he doesn't pick up any extra yardage. 6
yards on the pickup, second down and 4 for Miami at their 33-yard line. Everybody tight to the formation. There's the lone receiver outside the numbers. He's to Beck's right. Another handoff, bouncing it right side through a gap. Stood up by Gabe White is Mark Fletcher.
Almost a stop in the backfield, but you have to wrap up. On a running back like Fletcher, he's not a little dude. You have to be able, ran right by one player, and you have to be able to wrap him up.
Got to the 41-yard line, Hurricanes first down. I wasn't expecting this kind of tempo from Miami. They didn't show it a lot last week against Notre Dame. They were a lot more methodical, but they are right back up and ready to snap the ball again. Here's Beck motioning his receiver, Ray Joseph, out wide. The run goes to the left-hand side, and it's going to be stopped just shy of the 50.
Like we said, Miami's not doing anything special. They're really, at this point in time, just taking whatever the Wildcats give them. If the Wildcats are playing off the ball, they're running a short, quick screen, get the receiver the ball, get him up the field for like 5 or 6 yards.
That was the tight end Elijah Lofton on that last screen. That'll be second down and 3 for the Hurricanes at the 48. They're already up near midfield. The 48 is their own yard line, going left to right. The delayed handoff, nice patient running by Fletcher. He squirts a gap and gets to the Wildcat 45-yard line for a first down. Tackled on the play for the Wildcats was Joshua Thornhill.
The Hurricane offensive line just resetting that line of scrimmage every play.
4:56 and counting to go. Another handoff. This is a sweep to the left, looking for a lane is Fletcher. He's tripped up from behind at the Wildcat 36-yard line for a 4-yard gain.
Great tackle by Tyreek Hollinger, getting blocked, but being able to try to shed the block a little bit to be able to stop a big play from happening.
Got that wrap up around the waist, pulled him backwards.
While a man is on him blocking. So the Wildcats are doing everything that they can to make sure that they don't have any big plays to hit them.
2nd down and 3 after the gain of 7. Beck play action, screen left side to the tight end Alex Bowman. A flag flies as Bowman is run out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
I think we got holding. I think we got holding here by the Hurricanes. Yep.
Yeah, Lawan Lurie was the man that made the tackle for the Wildcats. But yeah, you're right. I think there's holding.
Number 10. The youngest player in the nation for holding.
Malachi Tony, that's a rookie mistake.
Hey, rookie mistake, but you know what? If I'm the Hurricanes, I'll take it. You know why? Because he's out there, he's hustling. Yeah. He's not just out there going to catch a pass. Yeah. He's out there blocking, too.
And I just saw the replay. Credit to Lawan Lurie, who's a defensive end, chased Bowman all the way to the boundary and pushed him out.
Listen, that's the type of hustle you need against a team like this.
That'll push Miami back, 2nd and 7. At their Wildcat 41-yard line going left to right. Beck with Fletcher on his right hip. Beck back to pass. Max protect. Beck looking in the middle of the field. Has a man at the 30-yard line. Cutting left side and run out of bounds near the 25. That's Tony Johnson, the redshirt senior transfer from Cincinnati. Another Miami first down near the front of the red zone.
Catching the Wildcats in the zone. So all he did was run his curl in the middle of that zone. Sat there, showed Beck his numbers, and Beck pitch and catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
They'll spot the ball at the Wildcat 21-yard line. Beck in the gun. He'll motion a receiver in from the left-hand side, hand the ball off to the left-hand side. The Wildcats close up the gaps on Fletcher. He'll only get about 4 to the Wildcat 26-yard line. Filling the gap was Johnny Harris.
And I think Nick Rawls got in there, get a little action in there coming up from his safety position as well to get that stop.
Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd and 5 for Miami. They'll split 2 receivers out to the wide side of the field. That's the right-hand side as Miami traipses down the field left to right. Beck already a 40-yard touchdown pass in the game. Delayed handoff up the middle. Excellent patience by Fletcher. He stretches for the goal line, and he is in for the touchdown. Looked like the Wildcats had him dead to right in the backfield, and then he just squirted away.
Great play by Miami. Just ran up the middle. However, what happened is that Nick Rawls came up to Phil right where he was coming out and missed the tackle. Like, what did I say at the beginning? Defense cannot miss tackles against this team, or they will take it to the house. And right there shows you just what we're talking about. You have to be able to wrap up on these boys because they are fast, they're strong, and they have a nose for the end zone.
2:34 to go in the first quarter. Carter Davis's extra point is up and good. And it's 14-0 Miami. We'll take a break and come right back to Hard Rock Stadium in South Florida. This is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. back at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. It's the Miami Hurricanes 14, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 0 after a 9-play, 74-yard drive covering 4 minutes and 33 seconds, capped by a Mark Flesher 16-yard touchdown run up the middle. Both of the touchdowns that Miami has scored have been dives into the end zone. The Fletcher run and the C.J. Daniels pass. There is 2:34 to go in the opening quarter. 14-0 Miami. The Wildcats don't have a first down that wasn't assisted by a penalty. Pretty much what we expected so far, Johnny.
Yeah, just a bigger, faster team right now. Miami is showing why they are the number 5 team in the nation currently. And the Wildcats, though, I think are still handling all of this in stride. Like I said, they've given up one big play. That was the touchdown pass to Daniels.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's all about tackling. It's all about gap protection and gap awareness, and doing what you have to do defensively. Offensively, those linebackers, those front seven, they're getting to the ball, and they're getting to the ball fast. So maybe you might try some misdirection, since that's something that you didn't do last week, and try to see if you can't get any extra yardage on this team with like maybe some traps and some counters.
I'd like to see some quick passes. Like the best play the Wildcats had was that 7-yard quick pass as Carter Davis's kickoff goes out of the back of the end zone. He's 3 for 3 on those. He's got a big leg, Carter Davis.
Yep,
transfer from FAU. But like the best play the Wildcats have had so far was the quick screen pass to Ali Scott out of the backfield.
Yeah, and that was met very, very quickly by the Miami defense. Can't say enough about them, but like I said, I think the Wildcats are handling this in stride. Where I would like to see our offensive line come off a little bit more aggressive. Now, the nerves should be settling down a little bit more. You know what they're going to throw at you. You know who they are. You know that right now the best thing for you to do is just get big on big.
Yep.
And root them out.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats from their own 25-yard line, going right to left. The handoff goes to the freshman Juan Rodriguez. He cuts back against the grain, picks up maybe a yard, maybe 2 to the 27-yard line. This is a guy that only carried the ball 3 times last week, didn't see any action after he fumbled early in the second half, but someone we're very high on Juan Rodriguez, out of Miami, out of Norland High School, so he's got family in the building, I'm sure, tonight.
Yeah, looked like zone blocking up front, and he was able to get extra yardage going to the backside because the defense over pursued.
2nd and 8 for the Cats from their own 27. Right on 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Quick pass, screen, left-hand side, and slipping through a tackle close to first down yardage.
There you go.
Let me see if I can grab a number.
There you go. The quick pass, getting the ball out of McClain's hands and getting the receivers into space, into the boundary. So
Terrell Short was the man that made the catch for Bethune-Cookman. Not on the 2 deep, but in the game making something happen.
And great job keeping his feet in bounds to pick up some extra yardage to get the first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, first down of the game that wasn't assisted by a Miami penalty. They spot the ball at the 37-yard line of their own, going right to left.
Safety
blitz coming. Rodriguez gets past one man, dives forward, picks up 1, maybe 2. And against that, they keep running to the blitzer's side when Miami brings pressure. And you're not going to get much running to the space with more defenders there.
Well, the great thing was that the safety over pursued the play, and we were still able to get a couple yards. We were tripped up. Going through the defensive line, but it's still a positive play for the Wildcats.
30 seconds to go in the first quarter. 1 yard on the scamper by Juan Rodriguez. 2nd down and 9 for the Cats. They go right to left. They're at the 38-yard line of their own. The delayed handoff goes to Rodriguez, and he's dropped immediately by Akeem Mesidor, who was in the backfield before you could say greased lightning. And if that's a read option and I'm Tim McClain, you got to think about keeping that running away from the pressure.
There was no where for Rodriguez to go, because as soon as the ball was snapped, the defense was through the line. It seemed like between the center and the guards, no one blocked anybody between that A and B gap. And so there was no hope for him to make anything except to not turn that ball over, which the Wildcats have not done.
Loss of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 13, but that's the end of the first quarter. 14-0 Miami. A long 3rd down awaits the Wildcats when we return to Hard Rock Stadium. This is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Stay with us. Back at Hard Rock Stadium, Michael Toretto and Johnny Vickers talking you through Bethune-Cookman football against Miami. It's Miami 14, Bethune-Cookman 0 as we get set for the start of the second quarter. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Miami, but the Wildcats did manage to pick up a first down on the last drive of the first quarter, extending into the second quarter, but are now facing 3rd down and 13 at their own 33. And during the break, Johnny, we were discussing ways to beat that rush for Miami that seems to be getting home faster than they can snap the ball.
Yeah, it's a lot of times when a defense is getting up on you too fast, it means that the play is taking too long to develop. So the Wildcats might have to change up their game plan a little bit and run directly at the Hurricane defense and try to root them out to be able to gain that extra yardage. Because right now they're getting to the quarterback very fast on these read option runs.
3rd and 13 for the Cats at their own 33-yard line. In this second quarter, they'll go left to right, maroon helmets, gold jerseys, maroon pants, white, orange, white for Miami. Snap to McClain. He's going to throw a backside bubble screen that is blown up. It was complete to Malik Huggins, but he had nowhere to go.
Just a great read by the defense, seeing what the receiver was doing, watching his feet, seeing that he did not come upfield. His first steps were back, and getting there to blow up that slip screen play. And the Wildcats are back on the field to punt.
Keontae Scott on the tackle for Miami, his second tackle of the night. The redshirt senior from San Diego, California, transfer from Auburn and a former 2-time JUCO All-American. Max Tulin on to punt. It is at his own 20-yard line. He'll punt left to right as we look at it from our broadcast position. He takes 2 steps to his right, almost got the ball taken off his shoe. It's going to arc near side, bounce at the 40, take a BCU bounce near the 32-yard line and be down right there. Tulin's gotten some good rolls, but the ball's off his foot the 3 times he's punted away. Haven't looked good.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the Hurricanes. They're getting a little bit more aggressive on punt return to come after Tulin. So I wouldn't be surprised before the end of this game if they don't send the house and try to get at least one block off of them.
We'll see how long that Miami keeps their ones in the game. It will be Beck and company back out for Miami. They'll go right to left as we look at it in this second quarter. New running back in the game, the redshirt sophomore transfer from North Dakota State, Shamar Brown. He's to the right hip of Beck, and now he moves to the left side and back to the right. Lots of pre-snap motion. Diamond formation of receivers to the right. Play action pass back over the middle. That pass is snapped by Tony up near his face mask at the 40-yard line, falling forward to the 43 for 11-yard pickup and a first down tackle by Johnny Harris and Joshua Thornhill for the Wildcats.
I mean, you have to watch out for Tony. He is, as we would probably say, electric, and that for a freshman, for a
17-year-old freshman.
17-year-old freshman to have that much trust from his quarterback. Man, that says a lot about him as a player.
First and 10 for Miami at their own 43-yard line, going right to left. No snap. Beck puts it in the belly of the running back, Shamar Brown. He's bowled over right at the line of scrimmage. Great play by Adrian Hall and LaRon Davis to come up with the tackle.
Good stop by the Wildcats, able to clog up that hole before any damage was done and him crossing that line of scrimmage. So the Wildcats really, really knuckling up right there, being able to slow the Hurricane run game down.
Good to see A.J. Hall back on the field. He missed most of the second half last week with some injury problems. Good to see him back.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to be a key piece for the Wildcat defensive front. Second down and 10 after the no-yard gain. Beck back to pass, throws short underneath, right at the U logo at the 50, diving forward for first down yardage to the BCU 44-yard line is C.J. Daniels, who had that leaping touchdown grab in the first half. That time, just a little 5-yard comebacker, and nobody covered him.
Yeah, just when the defense is in a zone, turn your numbers to the quarterback.
Already a snap, a handoff, running right to Brown. He's going to be tripped up for a 3-yard gain off the right-hand side of that offensive line.
Stephen Sparrow.
Yeah, Stephen Sparrow, who I talked to pregame and said their main goal today was try to defend the run.
Listen, and he's just one of those people who always manages to find his way around the ball.
Second and 8 now from the Wildcat 42, going right to left. Back with Brown to his right side. 3 receivers to the left, none to the right. Ball right hash. Snap to Beck, fake the handoff, throw the screen to Ray Joseph on the left-hand side. He's got a lane 40, cutting at the numbers 35-30, down to the 25-yard line. Ray Joseph played his first game as a Hurricane. When we came down here last time, 2 years ago, he has developed into one of the most electric wide receivers in the country.
Yeah, Watson Harris with the stop, but you see how fast he was able to accelerate after he got the ball in his hands because the Hurricanes had great blocking on the outside for him to pick up that extra
He got
yardage.
a big lane right at the left side. Numbers just turned his hips and went straight up the field. First and 10 for Miami at the Wildcat 24-yard line, approaching the red zone. Snap to Beck. Handoff Brown, delays, and he gets through a hole that opened up late, diving down all the way inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Another first down, 12-yard pickup for Shamar Brown, the redshirt sophomore. First 2 college seasons at North Dakota State, over 1,000 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns last year. Led all FCS freshmen in carries, yards, and touchdowns last year for the Bison of North Dakota State. I'm sure he's liking the weather down here a little bit more than North Dakota.
Absolutely.
First and 10 for Miami at the Wildcat 13-yard line, approaching the end zone again. Already 14-0 Canes. And it's a screen pass right-hand side, wide open off a play action, diving for the goal line, and 1 yard shy is Elijah Lofton, the tight end, the sophomore out of Las Vegas and Bishop Gorman High School. He'll set up Miami with first and goal at the 2-yard line.
He tried to dive from looked like to be about the
He didn't
the
need to
8-yard
dive.
line.
He didn't. Oh, he stumbled.
He stumbled.
Yeah,
he stumbled.
like, there was no need to dive. There was nobody over there.
Listen.
That was
just a great play action by Carson Beck and getting the ball out of his hands.
Completely
to the
sold the linebacker a dummy,
Absolutely.
right? And there was nobody there to cover the flat.
Absolutely.
First and goal from the 2. Shamar Brown did have 1 touchdown on the ground last week. He gets the carry, running up the middle. Touchdown, Miami.
There it is. Nothing special. Just big on big. I'm going to see if I can be a better man than you today. And the Hurricanes with their third score of the game.
I mean, I'm going to read you some of the heights and weights of this Miami offensive line. Markel Bell, 6'9", 340. Matthew McCoy, 6'6", 290. James Brockmeyer, 6'3", 295. And Ez Cooper, 6'6", 350. And Francis Mauinoa, 6'6", 315. That is a beefy O-line, and any defensive front in the country, much less the Wildcats, are going to have a hard time stopping. Carter Davis on for the third extra point attempt of the game. Snap, hold, kick is good. 21-0 Canes with 9:55 to go in the first half here in Coral Gables. We'll take a break and return to Hard Rock Stadium after this. This is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELA. Back at Hard Rock Stadium in Coral Gables, it's the Miami Hurricanes 21, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 0, with just over 9 minutes to go in the first half. Another Miami touchdown drive was as follows, as the live stats fail to load, so you're not going to get to know the scoring drive. Anyway, it ended with a 1-yard touchdown run for Shamar Brown, his second touchdown as a Hurricane after coming over from North Dakota State in the offseason. And to not sell Shamar Brown short at all, last year at North Dakota State, 1,081 yards, 15 touchdowns, led all FCS freshmen in yards, carries, and touchdowns. He was the Jerry Rice Award winner for the top freshman in all of FCS. FCS All-American by Stats, FCS Football Central, and Phil Steele. Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer and Freshman of the Year, just to name a few.
I mean, hey, you're not going to stay with those type of accolades. You're not going to stay at Missouri State for too long.
North Dakota State.
State, excuse me.
I was going to say Missouri State. And Missouri State's FBS now. They're in Conference USA along with Delaware. They moved up after this year. So, continuing all the motion in college football, the kickoff is probably going to go out the back of the end zone, as all of Carter Davis's kicks has. It almost finds the front row of seats behind the goalpost, and the Wildcats will start at the 25 once again. That scoring drive for Miami consumed 8 plays, covering 68 yards, 4 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock, ending in a 2-yard touchdown run by Shamar Brown. Wildcats just 24 yards in this first half. 1 first down that wasn't assisted by a Miami penalty. Timmy McClain still in at quarterback. Ali Scott back in at running back. Off his right hip, the Wildcats go left to right. Hurricanes show safety blitz, now drop it back in coverage. Curl route, left-hand side, caught on a comebacker by Terrell Short Jr., his second catch of the game. He must be in the depth chart for Ricky Shaw this week, who we haven't seen after he's been out with concussion protocol.
Yeah, see, well, and what I'm noticing is that for that play, the Wildcats are running their stop routes or their mini curl routes to the level of where the Hurricanes are playing zone. And so the Hurricanes are basically daring the Wildcats to run past them.
4-yard
right now.
gain, 2nd and 6 for the Cats at their own 29. Fake the handoff, screen left-hand side. Diving forward close to the 35-yard line is short again, his 2nd straight catch. And the Wildcats will they pick up a first down or will they be 1 yard short? No, they'll pick it up. First down, Bethune-Cookman.
Well, Wildcats moving the ball. Getting the ball out of McLean's hand is what we said earlier. Wildcats have got to get the ball out faster. You got to run at this defense. You can't wait for something to develop because they're a little bit too fast.
Yeah, the Wildcats are trying to burn, clock, burn. They are going full huddle like it's 1995. 8:37 and counting. They finally get up to the line and snap the ball. McLean back to pass, immediately under pressure, rolls to his left and throws the ball away. No, he throws it down the field, and it's caught at the Miami 45-yard line. I thought he was throwing that ball away, but he got it in between 2 Miami defenders.
Got it to Josh Evans.
To Josh Evans, the redshirt freshman transfer from Middle Tennessee. That fooled me. I guess the bad angle doesn't help. But
it doesn't help at all. But McLean was able to get out the pocket, extend the play. Josh Evans settled in between the corner and the safety, and McLean was just able to kind of loft it over there to him for a first down.
First down, Bethune-Cookman, 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. 21-0 Hurricanes. They'll spot the ball across midfield at the Hurricane 44 as the Wildcats will drain time off the clock again. Ali Scott Jr. back in there at running back. One-on-one matchup to the left-hand side of McLean, who takes the snap. Blitz coming from the backside. He hands the ball off to Scott. He has stood up and dropped for maybe 1 yard of gain. Keontae Scott, who's had a really good game early in this first half, comes up to make the tackle again.
Yeah, when you're able just to get a pile of bodies in the middle of the field, that means as a runner, you're probably not going anywhere. So, that's a massive pile of humans in that front four for the Hurricanes.
2nd down and 9 at the 43 for the Wildcats, going left to right. Maroon hats, gold jerseys, maroon pants, white, orange, white for the Hurricanes. McLean changes the play at the line. Got to get the snap off. He does. Play action, slant to Ross. He makes the catch at the 25-yard line and is buried at the 23 by the Miami secondary. That's the first catch first catch of the day for Javon Ross.
Chase Smith with the tackle. But once again, here we go. The Wildcats getting the ball out of McLean's hands. And what are the Wildcats doing? The Wildcats are taking the page out of the Hurricanes. They're just kind of settling in the zone where no one is. Turn your numbers to the quarterback. Let them find you, get the ball in their hands, and get upfield and get as many yards as you can.
Another first down and 10 for the Wildcats. They'll spot the ball at the Miami 33 going left to right. 6:21 to go in the first half. Can the Wildcats get on the board before halftime? McLean keeps it, runs around the left-hand side, gets a block, and gets his feet taken out from under him at the 28-yard line of Miami. Great pull there. Sold both middle linebackers on that one, who dove up the middle.
Jacoby Thomas coming up from the safety position with the stop. But just a great read by McLean right there. He waited for it, the play to develop, was able to pull, get around the corner, pick up positive yards for the Wildcat for a 2nd and 5 right now.
5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5 at the Miami 28. Almost approaching field goal range here for Juan Dominguez. A handoff. No, McLean keeps. Jump pass, left-hand side of the boundary. It's caught to the 20. Down towards the 15-yard line. Spun out of bounds at the 17. That's Javon Ross again. He was the Mr. Electric for the Wildcats last week with over 100 yards receiving, and he's got 2 big catches on this drive. Another first down BCU.
Well, first, we'll start off that play was just a great play action to the backside, being able to freeze the Hurricane defense a little bit, seeing the Wildcats are opening up their playbook to try to get on this board before the first half ends.
5 minutes to go and counting. Wildcats down 21-0, but approaching the red zone now. In fact, they'll be in it. Spot the ball at the Miami 19-yard line. Cats going left to right in this second quarter. Better drive this from Bethune-Cookman. Clap from McLean. Fake the handoff, throw a screen to Ross on the left-hand side. The throw was a little bit behind Ross, and he couldn't get his feet set before he's bundled over by Keontae Scott. Loss of 2 on the play.
Scott with a great play. I think that Ross should have tried to get up the field a little bit more. He tried to make a move.
The throw made him, it wasn't helpful. It was behind him and to his left.
But he tried to make a move right before Scott made the tackle. He should have probably just tried to fall forward a little bit to be able to at least pick up 1 yard on the play.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for the Cats from the Miami 21. 2 receivers stacked to the right, 1 to the left. That's the near side of the field. McClain with the snap. Looking. Now pressure comes, throws the safety valve over the middle of the field. It's caught by Ali Scott out of the backfield.
Great.
Close to the original line of scrimmage at the 18-yard line. Pick up a 4. Makes that 3rd down and 6.
Great job by McClain with his check down to Scott. Went through his progressions quickly. Scott was there in the middle of the field, made his way in between the linebackers, showed his numbers, able to get the ball, get down. Wildcats with a 3rd down territory.
Correction, 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. They're at the Hurricanes' 17-yard line with 3:28 and counting to go in this first half. Down 21-0, threatening to get on the board here. All 4 receivers to the left-hand side of the formation. They'll run the ball up the middle with Scott. He'll get to the 15-yard line, gain of 2, needed 8. Not sure what the call was there, but it wasn't the right one. It'll be 4th and 6 for the Cats.
4th and 6, and I'm almost positive.
Miami's going to call a timeout to get the ball back with more time on the clock.
I'm almost positive that the Wildcats are going to try for a field goal. I think that at this point it's about ball protection, making sure that you do not turn this ball over to this Miami offense that have scored on every last one of their possessions. And so we will be able to get on the board going into halftime. And I think now the next biggest thing is to try to keep Miami out of the end zone going into their next possession with just over 3 minutes left to go in this second quarter.
Now, this drive for BCU, 10 plays, 60 yards. And previously, they had 34 yards of total offense coming into that drive. They almost doubled their total yardage in the game on this drive to get down to the Miami 15.
Well, the Wildcats are adapting to what they're seeing. They're trying to, as the blitz comes from Miami, they're trying to replace where the blitzer was with a receiver, get the ball out of McClain's hands, be able to pick up the yards after catch, running right at the defense to be able to root them out, to keep the clock running, and to keep the defense honest. And now we're going to be throwing in some play action packages that we saw, freezing the defense to be able for our receivers to get open, find their open areas in the zone, sit, get the ball out their hands, and see what they can do and make happen after the ball is gone.
And the key play on this drive was the Wildcats were backed up in 3rd and long very early on the drive. And in the first set of downs, Timmy McClain almost took a sack, rolled out. We thought he threw the ball away from our bad angle here in the corner, but he actually threw it 20 yards downfield to find Javon Ross.
No, Josh Evans.
Or Josh Evans on that one. Ross also made 2 nice catches on the drive.
Yeah, I mean, and that just speaks to McClain's skill to be able to extend the play. And when you're in these type of games, extending the play is the thing that you want to be able to do, because if you don't, you're going to be losing a lot of yardage. And like you said, this has been our best drive since the start of this game, and the Wildcats have a chance to put some points on the board and not be blanked in this particular match.
Yeah, and so coming up, we're seeing the teams coming out of the timeout. Juan Dominguez is getting ready to attempt a field goal. He was 3 for 3 against FIU in his BCU Division I debut. His long was 35. This will be from about that long as the ball spotted at the 15-yard line. This will be officially a 33-yard attempt on 4th and 6 for the Wildcats with 3:12 to go. Dominguez, the redshirt junior transfer from Jacksonville Community College, takes 2 steps to his left. The holder is the punter, Max Tulin. Snap, hold, kick is perfect. Good. Right into the All-State hands on the net behind the goal. And Juan Dominguez continues to be the only Wildcat who has scored this season. 4 for 4 on field goals. He's perfect so far, and the Wildcats are on the board after a 10-play, 60-yard drive. ending in a 33-yard field goal for Juan Dominguez. And with just over 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, or first half, excuse me, it's Miami 21, Bethune-Cookman 3. We'll take a break and take you to the end of the half when we come back. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. Well, the Wildcats are on the board here in Miami. They trail the Miami Hurricanes 21-3 with 3 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the opening half of play. The 11-play, 60-yard drive for Bethune-Cookman took 6 minutes and 47 seconds off the second quarter clock, ending in a 32-yard field goal by Juan Dominguez, who's now a perfect 4 for 4 on the season. And Dominguez is now going to kick off to Keelan Marion, one of the top returners in the country for Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if they squib this and stay well away from Marion, who had 2 kick return touchdowns last year as a member of Brigham Young University. Now, they'll kick it right at him. He takes it at the 5-yard line at the right hashes, running right up the middle of the 10, the 15, the 20, upended near the 30-yard line. And that's where Miami will start with the ball with 3 minutes left to go in the first half. Wildcats maybe looking for some sort of defensive momentum to match the offense here in the last drive of the first half.
Just a great stop by the Wildcats. The Wildcats coverage team to not take a real big gash on that return, and so Wildcats kickoff coverage is holding up their end of the bargain during that special teams segment.
Carson Beck back at quarterback, Mark Fletcher to his left. 3 receivers in the pattern as the Canes go left to right. Now they now motion the linebacker or the tight end into the pattern. They flare it out to Tony on the left-hand side. He avoids a tackler, and the second man brings him down. Isaiah Washburn makes the stop. Davis makes the stop.
Jaden Davis with a great open field tackle. Tony just gets the ball and gets upfield. There's nothing too complicated about what he does.
8-yard pickup, second down and 2 at the Miami 37, and up the middle went Fletcher, and he stumbled. It looked like he tripped over maybe Carson Beck's feet trying to get out of the backfield. They had a little coming together, and he just fell right on his face.
I don't know.
So it's going to be 3rd and 2.
I think Joe Blade got him. That's the grass.
The blade of grass. I'll pick it up what you're putting down. 3rd down and 2. They hand the ball off again. He'll pound forward for a first down. Naeem Lassiter made the stop, but not before first down yardage to the 43-yard line.
Jalen Lewis in on that play as well. Miami just going to use the clock. They say they're probably not going to snap the ball here and going to wait for the 2-minute timeout.
which will be
now.
right now. So it's the 2-minute. We can't call it a warning. It's the 2-minute timeout.
Yep.
I mentioned that we would take you through the end of the half, and we will. We'll keep it right here for the 2-minute timeouts. And again, going back to that field goal drive for the Wildcats, you got to look at the 2 catches to Javon Ross, right? Both for first downs, both to extend the drive and get you into field goal range. And Javon Ross is someone we have been insanely high on throughout spring camp and fall camp, and after that first game of the season where he had 109 yards.
Yeah, I mean, because when you go out and your job is to make plays and you make those plays, then you're going to get the ball. That just shows the trust not only of your teammates but of your coaches to be able to call plays that ultimately help you get the ball in your hands to be able to advance our team down the field. And so to have young guys who still have years of eligibility left to bring experience later on in this season, going into next season, and I know I'm not in next season yet, but, as you're thinking towards the future, you have a very, very experienced receiving core. And, I mean, as long as you continue to do what you do, because it's not – you don't need to do anything fancy, right, Mike? You just need to do what you've been coached to do. And as long as you do that, like Javon Ross has been doing, Malik Huggins, Lorenzo Jenkins, they're going to find ways to get those young men the ball.
Now, we talked about this in the car on the way down here, right? It gives me a lot of joy watching guys that I covered when they were in high school, like Javon Ross, like someone who's redshirting at Bethune-Cookman this year, Kwasi Kwaku.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what he can do in his college career. To watch guys that I covered in high school coming up through the ranks now succeed at the college level. Jai Harrell is one up at Alabama State, played at Mainland.
Well, I'm going to one-up you on that. Like, you just shouted out Kwasi Kwaku.
Yeah.
Well, I played with his dad, right? So imagine me watching people like Ajay, right? His mother was a manager for the football team. I was in school with her. So I'm watching people who I went to school with, watching their children play college football. And so you're like, you're watching them in high school.
Yeah.
I remember when some of them were born. So how does that make me feel, right?
I'm not going to respond to that. It'll be 1st and 10 for Miami after the 2-minute timeout. They'll have 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line going right to left. They lead it 21-3 here late in the first half. This is Michael Cirillo and Johnny Vickers. Coming up at the half, you'll hear from both Daryl Natil and Sabrina Petit-Holm on the halftime report. We'll also take you around the Swac as well. 1st and 10, Beck alone in the backfield for the first time tonight. Screen right side, complete. The block is there, past the 50 to the Wildcat 47-yard line for C.J. Daniels. That's his 3rd catch of the game. He had a touchdown to open the scoring on the first drive for Miami.
Watts with the stop, and it looks like the Hurricanes are going hurry-up tempo offense.
Yep, inside 2 minutes. Canes still have 2 timeouts. Wildcats all 3. Play action, screen right side for Tony. He makes a cut at the 45 and is pushed out of bounds a little bit backwards of that at the 47-yard line for Miami. They're at the Wildcat side of the field. That's another first down. They're just pounding the ball to their top 2 receivers, Tony and Daniels.
Listen, just get the ball out the hands and ultimately try to keep the clock going, but Tony got out of bounds for that play.
Inside 2 minutes, clock stops when you go out of bounds and on first downs. They bring Mark Fletcher back into the backfield off the left hip of Beck, who takes the snap, looks to throw deep. Here comes pressure off the edge. He'll take the outlet short to Fletcher over the middle, caught at the 30, rumbling down to the 25, and tackled at the 24-yard line for another 15-yard gain and a first down.
Wildcats are steady trying to strip the ball. That's one of the things when, like, one person is holding up the runner or receiver, and then everybody else is coming in trying to strip at that ball and get a fumble.
Back to pass, looking to the near side corner and throws it well over the head of Tony, who was covered nicely by Harris as well on that play. Beck really had nothing to do. And on the previous play where he hit Fletcher over the middle on the outlet pass, everybody on the back end was covered up well. The Wildcats just didn't watch the guy leaking out of the backfield.
Typically, when a person goes to their check down, their receiver coming out of the backfield, that usually means that they have the receivers covered downfield, and that's the last option for the quarterback, so he doesn't take any type of like a sack or anything.
2nd and 10 for Miami from the Wildcat 24-yard line. The Canes go right to left with under 2 minutes to go, 1:24 exactly in the first half. Beck looking, curl route near side, and spinning out of bounds is C.J. Daniels. Under pressure from, I believe, Jalen Lewis or Nick Rawls. I can't tell who.
It was Jalen Lewis. He stepped out of bounds, so the clock will stop. Yeah, the clock will stop. Yep. The Hurricanes huddling up.
Yep. 3rd down and 2, at the 16 of the Wildcats. Fletcher back in the backfield. Wildcats put 8 in the box here. Miami brings both tight ends into the formation. They will run the ball. Fletcher, big hole up the C gap to the left-hand side. Gets to the 5, tackled at the 8-yard line is where they'll spot him. My apologies. When it gets down to that far end of the field,
it's difficult to see.
It's really hard to tell from back here in the corner.
On the opposite side of the field that we are, and had a chance for that gash not to be as bad, but we had a missed tackle by Tyreek Hollinger.
1st and goal from the 8. Beck, screen
play
pass,
action.
left-hand side off of play action.
Missed tackle.
One missed tackle, but Lofton, the tight end, was brought down at the 4-yard line.
Like I said, you cannot miss those tackles. And that missed tackle was Jaden Cummings. Jaden Cummings missed that tackle. I mean, you have to be careful because they are these Miami receivers, running backs are very elusive. And so it doesn't take much for them to break a tackle and get out. So you have to make sure you wrap up, drive your feet, roll those hips and get them to the ground.
This Miami offense was ridiculous in 2024 as they're going to have 2nd down and goal from the 5 after they call their 2nd timeout. I mean, led the nation in total offense, 537 yards per game. 1st in first downs, 1st in yards per play, 1st in scoring offense, 42 points per game. Almost nothing stopped this Miami offense last year. And it looks like they're bringing that same kind of offense to bear this season, especially with a win over number 6 Notre Dame to begin the year. It's 21-0, 2nd and 5 inside the 5-yard line for Miami, looking to make it 28 before the half, 45 seconds left in it. Beck floats it far corner.
Play the ball.
And a leaping catch for the touchdown by C.J. Daniels. He's had 2 really impressive catches for touchdowns. One streaking down the middle of the field and leaping at the goal line. That one just a back shoulder fade where he out-jumped the defender, and it's 27-3.
I mean, Gabe White was in position to make a play for the ball. He just did not get his head back around in time. And, I mean, just a great touch by Carson Beck and a great adjustment by Daniels. I mean, you can't get much better pitch and catch than that.
Carter Davis on for his 4th extra point of the night. Hasn't really done anything except kick extra points and kick off out of the back of the end zone. The kick is up, and it is good. So 38 seconds to go in the first half. 28-3 Miami over Bethune-Cookman. Talk about C.J. Daniels, right? 3-star prospect from Parkview High School in Georgia. Started at LSU. Well, actually started at Liberty, 4 seasons, almost 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns. The 2023 Conference USA All-Second Team. Then went to LSU last year, 42 receptions, 480 yards, and now finishing his college career here at Miami.
So I'm confused now. Has the NCAA allowed, is it 6 years now that you can play?
I don't know.
7 years? Because this is with the portal. This
red
is getting
shirts and medical and portal. Listen, I just say what's on the website, what they have him listed as. So, but he is technically a 6th-year senior. I'm assuming one of those is a red shirt. Two of those were red shirts.
One could possibly be
medical.
The red shirt, and then a freshman red shirt, and a medical red shirt.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get that, but even those are rare.
Yeah. But I mean, look at basketball, right? I mean, we've got Doc Bradley's almost my age, and he's going to be playing for us this year as that ball goes out of the back of the end zone off the kickoff. The Wildcats come out to the 25. Some pushing and shoving after the play. Looks like A.J. Hall's getting into it with one of the Miami players, Herbert Scroggins.
That's okay. That's okay.
No flags.
No flags.
Everybody just disengages.
No flags. You disengage. You know, football, sports, you talk trash. Sports, you talk trash. And so it's a part of the game. But there's a way to do it. You do, and you typically do it like what? In between those whistles. And so you make sure that whatever you do, whatever you say, does not cost your team any unnecessary penalties.
Wildcats will start at their own 25-yard line. 38 seconds to go in the first half. They could run one play and call it a night. Well, they might do that.
Yeah.
They do hand the ball off up the middle. Free space to the 30, 35, and just shy of the 40. First down yardage for the BCU back.
That's it. Take it in. Take it in. Oh, no, they're going to run another play. They're going to run another play.
Robinson took the handoff for the Wildcats. He'll get it again up the middle, trying to scramble around. Whistle at a stoppage of play. No gain on the play. They're at the 38-yard line of their own. 13 seconds left, and they might just take that one to the half.
Because I for sure thought that they were going to take, after the big run, they were going to take it in, but Coach Woody decided that he wanted to run another play.
Let's if you could get one more big play and potentially maybe call a timeout and then shoot something down the field.
Yeah.
But that's the end of the first half. It is Miami 28, Bethune-Cookman 3. So the Wildcats will not be shut out tonight. And unlike the last time we were down here, they didn't have to wait till 2 minutes left in the game to get on the board. So that one drive, 10 plays, 60 yards for a field goal, the highlight of this first half if you're a Bethune-Cookman fan.
Absolutely. I mean, just like you said, as the game continued to progress, we seemed like we kind of settled in. We seemed that we were able to adjust a little bit, not try to wait for plays to develop, but try to take each play to Miami, get the ball out of McClain's hands, a little bit less reading, a little bit more direct handoffs, coming downhill, running directly at the defense, which helps, especially with Miami that was doing a lot of zone blitzing and delayed blitzing in this first half, especially as they brought the safety up because we weren't really passing the ball. So why not bring the safety up if the majority of what we're going to do is run the ball?
We're going to take a break and be back in about 10 minutes with your halftime report. We'll hear from Daryl Natil and Sabrina Petit-Home, who've been on the sidelines in this first half. We'll also have your first half statistical breakdown and go around the Swac to see what else Swac schools have gotten up to this football Saturday. Once again, your score at the half: Bethune-Cookman 3, Miami 28. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. Stay with us. Second half coming up next. We're back at Hard Rock Stadium with Bethune-Cookman University football. It is halftime here at the Hard Rock, and we are now joined by sideline reporter Darren Latil as the Wildcats trail the Miami Hurricanes 28-3. Daryl, atmosphere down there on the sidelines, it's got to be rocking, and it is Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, it is rocking, and, you got a good crowd here. And, we saw last week with Notre Dame in town, and this place was sold out, but you got a good crowd on the field. And the Wildcats in the first half, in the first quarter, were kind of dominated by the Canes on offense and defense. But at the beginning of the second quarter, you saw the Cats kind of settle down a little bit, and you saw Timmy McLean start to throw the ball quickly across the field, and the Cats began to move the football.
I want to get your thoughts on that, right? Because the Wildcats were really stopped in the middle of the field, running middle. They switched to quick passes to the outside and got a little bit more success.
They were running some stunts up front. They were blitzing him and kind of stacking up the middle. And we've been running zone read most of the game. So when we ran zone read one time and got the running back in a little bit of room, then Timmy began to find Javon Ross on the outside and begin to nickel and dime. We had, a 60-yard drive there in the second quarter.
Yeah, and about the defense, right? I mean, it's kind of what we expected, right? 28 points. Miami scored on every drive. They've looked like a knife through butter at times. What does the defense need to do to get any kind of success going in the second half?
Well, you saw in the beginning of the second half, we began to put a little bit of pressure on Carson Beck because he began to check the ball down because the receivers were all covered. I think we're kind of opening up the defensive playbook a little bit. We've been playing vanilla, but we're moving up on the receivers, and you're seeing now a couple of stunts here and there because Beck hasn't been able to find his first read. He's been checking down.
What do you expect to see in the second half quickly on both sides of the ball?
Most of the time in this ball game, we play well in the second half. I think you'll see some of their subs come in, and we'll begin to play even with them. It's going to be a decent ball game in the second half.
We'll see if that is the case. I now want to hear from our student reporter who's been on the sidelines as well. You may know her from our CatEye Network basketball broadcast, Sabrina Petit-Home. Sabrina, welcome to the football side of things.
This is so exciting. I'm really happy to be here.
So what was your main takeaway from the first half? You were down on the sidelines as well.
Well, the energy definitely coming from our side of the field. They're very, very strong-minded right now. Everybody's focused. Everybody's locked in. Bethune-Cookman has held Miami to just 28 points in an impressive high-powered Hurricanes offense. So, we want to be able to acknowledge that point, especially with all that the Wildcats has been working on. I've talked to Coach Collins earlier for one of the pre-games, and I asked him what the 3 points of key to the games were, and he was very adamant on protecting the ball. And the Hurricanes have no turnovers forced against BCU, and then that shows that the Wildcats are protecting it very well. Defensive front showed that good push, collapsing pockets, and pressuring Carson Beck into checkdowns, which is something that, I'm really proud of our team right now. Linebackers have been in active pursuits, keeping game modesties after each and every catches.
Yeah, what was the atmosphere like down there in your mind? Yes, it's a big stadium, but it's not a full big stadium.
No,
it's maybe about a half-capacity crowd out here tonight.
Honestly, it was very shocking. I think it was a culture shock for me because I don't think I've ever been into a stadium this big, let alone some of the players who have just joined the team this year. So this just gave them more so of a learning experience on what to expect further in upcoming games with South Carolina State, who more so is not just the bigger crowd, but, more of the fans that come out to reach out to their players and supporting their players.
Did you get to hear any conversation between players or coaches while you're down there? What are they talking about?
Very positive, actually. Everybody is keeping each other up, just everybody staying locked in. I think they were very well knew exactly what they were coming into playing against University of Miami and what type of team they are, especially in the ACC, and who they are playing against. So I'm pretty sure that everybody down there is using this as a learning experience, what players are working for them and how they can turn this around for the upcoming games that are coming up for them.
Well, Sabrina, thank you so much. We'll hear from you at the end of the game as well. Once again, the score at halftime, Miami 28, Bethune-Cookman 3. We'll get you your full stats breakdown in a moment, but let's go around the SWAC. It's a lot of lopsided scores this week, unfortunately. Ohio State beats Grambling State 70-0. The number one Buckeyes moved to 2-0. Grambling State is now 1-1 after a win over a Division II opponent and a loss to the number one team in the nation. That's a wild seesaw ride in the first 2 weeks for Grambling State. There was a lot of hype going in, going into the Jackson State game against Southern Miss, but Jackson State trails the Golden Eagles in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left, 38-20. California Golden Bears are hosting the Texas Southern Tigers. It's the end of the third quarter, and Texas Southerners hold their own. It's 25-0 Cal over Texas Southern out in California. Florida A&M is just across the street, proverbially speaking. They're taking on the Florida Atlantic Owls, and with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, it's Florida Atlantic 39, Florida A&M 7. Mississippi Valley State is hanging tough with Tarleton State. That's a ranked FCS team in Tarleton State. It's Tarleton State 21, Mississippi Valley State 3, approaching the end of the first half. We also have some conference action this weekend. Alabama A&M is at home in the first game of a new coaching staff at Cruz Stadium. They have a 28-14 lead over the Alcorn State Braves with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Alabama State and Southern are playing what I can only assume is a wet noodle fight in Baton Rouge. It is 6-0 Jaguars over Hornets. Where's that vaunted Alabama State offense led by Andrew Bonney? Who knows? It's 6-0 Southern over Alabama State at the half in Baton Rouge. Central Arkansas is hosting Arkansas Pine Bluff. We're approaching the end of the first half in that contest. It's Arkansas Pine Bluff 7, Central Arkansas 20. And in our final around the Swac game of the evening, playing their second game in school history, the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley Vaqueros are on the road against Prairie View A&M, and the Vaqueros lead the Prairie View A&M Panthers 7-0 with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's your Around the Swac. Once again, right here at Hard Rock Stadium, it's Miami 28, Bethune-Cookman 3 at the half. Let's get you to your first half statistical breakdown. First for Bethune-Cookman, they've got 3 points. They've got 7 first downs, 14 carries for 30 yards. 11 of 12 passing is Timmy McLean for 68 yards. 3 punts for Bethune-Cookman. They've dominated the time of possession, the Wildcats, 16 minutes and 51 seconds to 13 minutes and 9 seconds. The Wildcats, however, are 0 for 5 on third down, where Miami is 2 of 2. 1 for 1 in the red zone, just a field goal. 3 for 3 in the red zone, Miami, those 3 touchdowns. For Miami, they got 28 points, 17 first downs, 14 carries, 100 yards combined for Miami. 213 passing yards. Carson Beck was 18 of 19 in that first half. His only miss was he was trying to hit Tony on an outside slant and came up empty, throwing it out of bounds. Neither team has turned the ball over. Let's get you into some individual numbers. Kamari Robinson, 2 carries, 14 yards, leads the Wildcats in rushing with those 2 carries right at the end of the first half. Timmy McLean, 2 carries, 8 yards. Marquis Johnson, 3 carries, 7 yards. Ali Scott, 4 carries, 3 net yards. Passing, Timmy McLean is 11 of 12 for 68 yards with a long of 21. Terrell Short Jr. is 3 of 3 for 19 yards with 20 yards coming after contact. Javon Ross, 3 catches, 4 targets, 17 yards. Ali Scott, 2 for 2 for 10 yards. Josh Evans, 1 catch, 21 yards. For Miami, Mark Fletcher Jr., 10 carries, 85 yards and a touchdown. Shamar Brown, 4 carries, 15 yards and a touchdown. Carson Beck, 18 of 19, 213 yards and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, C.J. Daniels, 5 catches, 73 yards, and both receiving touchdowns on the night for Miami. Malachi Toney, the standout freshman, 5 catches for 56 yards. Elijah Lofton, the tight end, 3 catches for 21 yards. And Tony Johnson, 1 catch for 20 yards. That's your halftime statistical breakdown. We are just about to get set for the second half as we play here at Hard Rock Stadium. The fans still filing back into their seats after getting some halftime refreshments. We welcome Johnny Vickers back to the broadcast booth. Johnny, you were listening to those halftime stats. I mean, it doesn't look pretty, but you got to remember the caliber of opposition that the Wildcats are up against as the punt or the kickoff sails out of the back of the end zone. This is the Wildcats, their highest-ranked opponent they've ever faced in history, the number 5 ranked Miami Hurricanes.
Number 5, yeah. And I mean, really, when you look at just kind of like getting to the meat of things. You wanted to be able to protect the ball. You wanted to be able to not give up too many big plays. You wanted to be able to take what the defense gives you, and you wanted to be able to stay healthy. And right now, the Wildcats have done just that.
First down and 10 for Miami. They'll go left to right across your radio dial in this second half. They'll start at the 25-yard line. It'll still be Carson Beck.
Pass.
Play action pass. Pressure. Rolls to his left. Hits the slanting receiver. Shamar Brown out of the backfield for about 5 yards to the 30-yard line.
Great check down by Beck, going through his progression, hitting his running back who came out the backfield in the flat, not doing anything crazy or risky.
Second down and 5, play action, swing out to Tony far side. At the 40-yard line, makes a man miss. At the 50, juked a defender out of his shoes and eventually gets into Wildcat territory at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, Watts wasn't able to break down approaching Tony for the tackle, and all he did was put one foot in the ground, go back the opposite direction, and get upfield. I mean, he is an electrifying receiver who you have to be able to break down to make sure that he does not get past you, because he will burn you for big yardage.
First and 10 at the Wildcat 47 after that big play to Tony, 24 yards on that last catch. Beck rolls left, has all kinds of time, will throw deep down the middle of the field, one-on-one coverage, and it's broken up.
Woo!
Fantastic defensive coverage by Gabe White. He was one-on-one with Keelan Marion.
Now that time, Gabe was able to see the ball coming. For that first score to Daniels, Gabe was in position to make a play. He just didn't turn his head. That time, he was able to track the ball and knock it out of the receiver's hands.
He put his hands on his head after that play like he wanted to pick it off.
It was close, but a pass breakup is just as good right now.
That'll be second down and 10 from the 47-yard line of the Wildcats, going left to right for the Hurricanes. White hats, orange jerseys, white pants. Cutting it back is Tony out of the backfield. He's going to be wrapped up and spun down by a trio of maroon and gold jerseys. Check that, Shamar Brown takes the handoff.
Yeah, you have to be very careful, because these Miami receivers and running backs will give you that 1-2 juke, and so you can't fall for it, because if you do, they're going to be up the field in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he reversed course real quickly. He tried to go left initially. There was nothing there, and he went back to the right and got 5 yards. Third down and 5 for Miami. Wildcats don't have a third down step tonight. They're at the Wildcat 42-yard line. Beck with Brown on his left hip. Three receivers in a bunch pattern to the right, single left. They'll hand the ball off up the middle, and Brown spinning off a tackle, and he's going to get to the Wildcat 30-yard line. Spot him at the 32-yard line for a first down.
Stephen Sparrow Jr. with the stop there, and that time it was just a hat on the hat. Made a lane for him, and just good blocking up front by the Hurricanes for that run.
Miami now 6 of 6 on third down this evening. They'll spot the ball at the Wildcat 32 now, left to right. In the white-orange and white-orange numbers with a green trim, Carson Beck with Brown on his left hip. Hand the ball off to Brown. Tries to cut it back. Takes a big pop at the 28-yard line. Still keeps those legs moving forward for a gain of about 4 yards.
Good job. Good job by the Wildcats stopping that run. Brown just kind of trying to take his time, pick his way through the defense, find that opening, and try to gash you. But the Wildcats were able to corral him for a very short yardage gain.
They gave him 5, second down and 5 at the Wildcat 27. Beck with the one glove on his left hand, takes the snap, looks to throw. Pressure from the backside, throws the outlet pass over the middle to the tight end, Tony Johnson. And that'll be just enough for a first down at the 21-yard line.
Like I said, Miami's not showing anything special. Beck goes through his progressions, and then they're always giving him a really good safety outlet, whether it is his running back or his tight end in the middle of the field, and he just dumps it off to them, and they pick up a few extra yards. First down.
Looked like Bryson Boone actually made contact with Beck as he threw the ball. So very close to a sack. The check down was there, though. First and 10 for Miami inside the 25 at the 21-yard line of the Wildcats. Play action, quick strike over the middle. That pass is complete at the 5-yard line, dragging a defender down to the 2. And that'll be first and goal.
Raw saves a touchdown with the tight end running up the seam.
Yep.
Just a real quick hot route, get the ball out of Beck's hands, and there you have it. The Hurricanes knocking at the door at about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, 2-yard line. Luca Gilbert, the tight end, was the man over the middle. He was wide open. And now they'll go I formation, Beck under center.
They're going to run right at him.
Looking to run right at it. First and goal from the 2. Beck, deep handoff, pushing forward for the touchdown. It's Mark Fletcher Jr. He only got 2 yards on that drive, and they were the final 2. And Fletcher picks up his first touchdown of the season. Or say second of the night, second of the season. He didn't have one last week. But that one easy as you like, as it's just the bigger bodies up front for Miami are getting it done. And just like that, it's 34, potentially 35-3.
I mean, you read off the height and the weight of all of the starting 5 of UM's linemen. And those are just some big fellas up front who are going to be like, you're going to have to beat us up front because we don't think that you can.
Carter Davis is not on for this extra point. It is Bert Auburn. And it's good. And it's 35-7. Miami has scored a touchdown on each of their drives this evening. We'll take a break and be right back. Wildcats on the ball for the first time in this second half. When we come back to Hard Rock Stadium, this is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Back at Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami, Florida. It's the Miami Hurricanes 35, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 3. That last scoring drive was 9 plays, 75 yards, covering 4 minutes and 21 seconds at a 1-yard touchdown run by Mark Fletcher Jr., his second of the night. And I mentioned it at halftime when we had our sideline report from Darryl Latil and Sabrina Petit home that it's looked like a hot knife through butter at times, this Miami offense against this Wildcat defense.
Yeah, I mean, Miami has had their way on the field, but it hasn't been, I would say, just an overpowering. It's been very efficient.
Yeah.
Right? So Miami's been picking their spots. They've been getting the ball, like I said, getting the ball out of Beck's hand. I almost said Carson Palmer. But
Carson Palmer. Listen, all night I've been saying to myself, don't say Carson Wentz. Don't say Carson Wentz. Don't say Carson Wentz.
But they've been getting the ball out of Beck's hands. The offensive line has been resetting the line of scrimmage on the plus side of the field, making sure that almost every carry that the running backs have is for plus yardage. So, I mean, it's not just all these grand plays, but they're efficient plays. And that's really what Miami is showing tonight, that they are able to move the ball efficiently and at will.
Here's the kickoff from Davis. It's out of the back of the end zone. But you could almost look at that as a positive for the Wildcats, right? They really only allowed that one big explosive play on the first drive to C.J. Daniels. Other than that, they've kept everything in front of them and let Miami like have the kind of underneath route. And against a team with less physicality and less speed, South Carolina State maybe, next week, they might be making those tackles for no gain or 1 yard instead of 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards.
Yeah, I think that as you hold your own with South Carolina State, a team that you're better matched with, you start getting a little bit of a confidence builder.
1st and 10 for the Cats on their own 25, going right to left in the maroon and gold. The handoff goes to Marquis Johnson. He squirts through a hole on the right-hand side of the line and dives forward for 3 yards.
Marquis Johnson just being able to see the smallest sliver of light work his way through the line for some extra yardage after getting past the line of scrimmage.
Johnson's shifty. He's 5'8", 185 pounds, originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Able to get behind those linemen.
But played high school ball out in Arizona. Former Arizona state champion at Saguaro High School. And once again, the Wildcats will just slow everything way down, drain the play clock every time.
Listen.
2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard gain. Hand the ball off again. Johnson can't get away. Dropped for a big loss.
I mean,
back at the 23-yard line.
A lot of the running lanes are there, but the problem is that just at the time, the line is getting pushed back into our running back.
Yep.
And so he's having to adjust and read on the run. And instead of going forward, he's going side to side to be able to try to find another route to get past the line of scrimmage. And once you do that, you know how much time you wasted in football?
Yeah.
As far as football seconds go, it's like an eternity.
Keontae Scott has had a really good game. That's his 4th tackle, 3rd solo tackle tonight. And it's going to be 3rd down and 12 for the Wildcats on their own 33. Timmy McLean going to have to throw the ball now. 3 receivers, 2 right, single left. McLean takes the snap, faces pressure, stands in, throws back across his body to the 35-yard line. That pass is caught in traffic, and hanging onto the ball through contact is Lorenzo Jenkins. That's his first catch of the night. He was marked by Xavier Lucas, but just got away.
1st down, Wildcats.
I'm surprised they haven't targeted Jenkins before. That was his first target of the night. And great job by the offensive line to give McLean enough time.
And great throw by McLean, threading the needle between 2 defenders to be able to get Jenkins that ball. I mean, those are the type of plays that help you build confidence with your coaches.
8:32 and counting to go in the 3rd. Snap to McLean on 1st and 10. Johnson has a hole at the 40-yard line. There's a big old face mask. 4 flags come in. The back judge, both line judges, and the umpire all threw a flag.
Everyone saw it. That tack on the extra 15.
And I'll tell you what, if he didn't get pulled back by the face mask, he might be still going because there was a massive hole in the secondary.
Oh, just, we take every little bit that we can get.
That was the 2nd penalty on Miami tonight. The Wildcats only 1 penalty in that first half.
I mean, that's another great sign, right? Being that 2 years ago we were the least least penalized team in the nation, and so normally you get rattled in these type of environments, and you're jumping off sides or you're holding and different things. The Wildcats have not been plagued by the penalty. The Wildcats have really just been plagued with not being able to advance the ball efficiently.
And remember, in the 3rd play from scrimmage, Wesley Biasaint, the leading linebacker on the Miami team, got called for targeting, and he's been out of the game
since the first quarter, since the 3rd play of the first quarter.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats into Miami territory at the 43-yard line. Handoff, Johnson tries to cut it back against the grain. Nothing doing. Lots of orange jerseys right there. Maybe a 2-yard gain up to the 40-yard line.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you this, especially with the front 3, our center and our guards. You have to be able to hold your own. You cannot let those defensive tackles cross your face. Be able to stand you up, see where the runner is going, and then shed you to be able to get to the running back. You have to be able to hold your own, because if that defensive tackle crosses your face, pretty much your whole running play is blown up.
Wildcats will once again huddle it up behind the line. Clock running, 7:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 9 for the Wildcats from the Miami 41-yard line after a face mask penalty gave them a big 1st down into the U territory. Corner pressure shown. They throw a screen right side, caught by Ross, makes a spin move at the 40, and at the 43-yard line, eventually run down by a couple of orange jerseys. He kind of slipped his plant foot when he tried to turn up field and didn't get as much charge as he wanted to. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
But still, just a good play. Yeah, his foot slipped. Still just a good play to kind of get a few extra yards. Was able to spin out of one tackle, but the Hurricanes are just very fast to the ball.
Javon Ross and Lorenzo Jenkins are both one-on-one with corners on the outside to McLean's left here on 3rd and 4 from the Miami 36 going right to left. Dominguez is in the backfield, the bigger back potentially to block. Here comes the pressure. McLean gets it away. He throws it into traffic. A flag comes in. Potentially maybe offensive holding there. I'm not sure what it's going to be. He was trying to hit Johnson, who was out in the pass pattern as a receiver. We're hoping it's pass interference, but I don't think I saw it.
I don't know if it's pass interference.
I think it might be holding on the offense. We'll see. It was 3rd down and 4. Here's the call. It's a defensive holding, and that'll give the Wildcats a first down.
Absolutely.
And looking at the replay, I see it now too.
Absolutely. He grabbed the receiver, Huggins, who was about to run the screen. He grabbed him by the back of his jersey in his shoulder pads before he could make his break. So yes, holding. 2
Miami penalties have given Wildcat first downs on this drive. They're all the way up to the Miami 26, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, going right to left. Chino Rodriguez in the backfield to the left hip of McLean. 2 receivers right, single left. That's Lorenzo Jenkins. Hand the ball off Rodriguez. And again, they hand it off and they go to the blitzing side. No gain on the play.
Blitzing on the right-hand side. Marquis Johnson tries to Rodriguez tries to cut left, but once again, when you're dealing with those front 5, you cannot have those defensive linemen cross your face. If they cross your face like they did, your running play is blown up.
Justin Scott, the sophomore out of Chicago, was in on the lead blocking, was the lead tackler in on that play for the Hurricanes. The Wildcats will once again break the huddle. 5 minutes and 33 seconds. They've dominated time of possession in this game, the Wildcats. That's because they're just going slow as molasses here. 2nd and 10 from the Miami 26.
Another blitz coming.
McLean throwing back shoulder towards the end zone. It is incomplete.
Incomplete.
Was looking for Huggins.
Great. I like that play call. And let me tell you why. Because we really haven't taken a shot down the field like that when we get into plus territory. And so, just a really good ball, a really good play of the ball, a little bit overthrown for Huggins, but I love the play call, being able to take that chance and to put our guy against their guy.
They went for the corner of the end zone and just overthrew him.
I'll take it every time right now. It's like you don't have anything to lose at this point in the game. You can take a risk like that.
3rd down and 10 now at the Hurricane 26-yard line. They send Morales, the tight end, in motion to the left-hand side of the line. McLean faces backside pressure, and he's tackled all the way back at near the 35-yard line. That's going to knock him out of field goal range.
Yeah. And it's a fumble. It's a fumble.
Did the Hurricanes pick it up?
Yes.
Wow. And that negates a drive that was in field goal range for the Wildcats. It just takes points off the board.
Just have a party at the quarterback. That's all they did was beat. Our tackles got beat.
Oh, yeah, it is a fumble. And the Hurricanes jump on it. Chase Smith, the redshirt senior out of Palm Bay, Florida, career Cane out of Bayside High School. That's his first fumble recovery of his career and only his 2nd sack.
Man, the Wildcats up until this point were doing a really good job. No turnovers, but
that was the first turnover.
But that was the first turnover, because let me tell you what's going through the Hurricanes' head. They do not want us to score. They do not want 7 points. They will be better off. They'll deal with us kicking a field goal. But as far as a touchdown and what we just did in the play before for Huggins, that's why they brought the house. They said, we see them going to try to take another shot down the field. We're trying to keep them as 0 touchdowns scored. So they decided to bring the house. They walked up there. They walked up one of their safeties, delayed safety blitz. They brought in their linebackers, and it was just too much to handle for the Wildcats front 5.
Yeah, and of course, it doesn't help that McLean fumbled the ball and stopping any kind of and maybe you do go for it on 4th down and long, right, if you're not in field goal range in enemy territory like that. We're just seeing the replay of it now. They brought both ends in, right, and the safety.
So A five block and 6. They walked the safety up, and then they had their Mike linebacker blitz as well. And the ends, their edges, their ears were pinned back, and it was just get to the quarterback, let's meet at the quarterback. So you had 5 versus 6.
And I'm looking at the replay right now. Reuben Bain Jr., who's one of the best defensive end in the country, just completely got around Traveris Hammond, our left tackle, like he was standing still.
And in that type of situation, you have to be aware, and ladies and gentlemen, as we're watching the replay, Marquise Johnson, once he slips through the line, he's got to be aware that blitz is coming. He's got to be aware of the down distance. He's got to get his back. He's got to get his numbers to the quarterback so the quarterback can just check his progression down. Because when you see that type of blitz coming, you have to get the ball out of your hands. And so McClain held it a little bit too long, and unfortunately the Wildcats lost the ball because of the fumble, and the Hurricanes are going the other way.
So the Wildcats have a promising drive come up empty. That was probably their second best drive of the game outside the one that they got a field goal on, 10 plays, 60 yards back in the first half. That play, 9 plays, 41 yards, covering 5 minutes and 27 seconds time of possession. The Wildcats do control time of possession in this game, 22 minutes to 17 minutes, 30 seconds. First down and 10 for Miami. Handoff up the middle goes to Fletcher.
Yeah, another flag.
And was that for a scuffle after the play, potentially?
I don't know, but I see a flag.
I did see the flag in late.
Targeting, because I know someone came in late.
Well, we've already had one player ejected for targeting. That's the defensive
Here we go.
linebacker for Miami, Wesley Biasing.
Targeting.
And it's on the Wildcats, number 24, Jordan Johnson, the safety.
Yep.
And so for the second time today, we go to a review of a targeting. We had one on the third play from scrimmage, and now we have one with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Wildcats down 35-3, just wasted a chance to get points on the board. A strip sack fumble in field goal range gave the ball back to Miami, and then on the first play, Miami picked up about 5 yards, and then a targeting penalty late in. We're going to see the replay now up on our screens one time.
Johnson.
Oh yeah, he's gone. He came in really late, lowered the head onto a defenseless player who was already on the ground. Yeah, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll tell you about the result of that targeting penalty. This is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Welcome back to Hard Rock Stadium, where the Wildcats trail the Miami Hurricanes 35-3 with just about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. We are currently checking a potential targeting penalty on Wildcats safety Jordan Johnson after he hit Mark Fletcher Jr. late on the first play from scrimmage after the Wildcats fumbled within field goal range, giving points away on the drive. And we are still waiting to see what the result of that is. There's still 30 seconds on the little board that the Red Hats hold it up on the field, so we'll have to wait a little bit to see if Jordan Johnson is taking an early shower, just like Wesley Biasaint was for Miami.
Yeah, I mean, you can see as we're looking at the board, he is visually disturbed, and he is hoping that this isn't the case.
Well, they didn't say it was targeting. They're going to give him 1st and 10 Miami at their own 49-yard line, at the Wildcat 49-yard line, going left to right. New quarterback in the game, Emory Williams. He'll drop back to pass, throw over the middle. That pass is complete at the Wildcat 45 and down to the 42. The pass is caught by Ray Joseph for a 7-yard gain.
Tackled by Stephen Sparrow. Miami in a hurry up. Back on the line.
Delayed handoff. Powering forward past the 40 to the 38. First down yardage for Miami.
Good stop by Watts.
On the run.
Getting up in there.
Couldn't quite see who ran the ball there. It might be Jordan Lyle. He's the 3rd on their depth chart. But Emory Williams, a former 4-star prospect out of Milton High School in the Pensacola area. 1st and 10 for Miami, just inside the Wildcat 40. Williams on play action, looking deep, has one-on-one coverage at the 10, at the 5. It is knocked away in the back of the end zone. Gabe White has redeemed himself in the second half, saving 2 touchdowns on deep passes with brilliant deflection.
Listen, Gabe has been able to get his head around and cover these deep balls. And I don't know if you've noticed, but he's been in step with these Miami receivers. It's not like they have a 3 to 5 yard cushion on him. No, he is running in step with these receivers.
After that deep shot, 2nd and 10 for the Wildcat 38 for the Canes. Emory Williams once again in at quarterback after Carson Beck's day is done. The handoff goes up the middle, and the Wildcats stuff it.
Good.
Adrian Hall is there. Timothy Gully is there. Luan Lurie is there. Cornelius Bass is there. It's a quattro killing in the backfield.
Listen, hey, this is a great time to really probably make some moves as you have some of the starters out for UM. But this is the type of stuff we like to see. There's no quitting these guys. Their motors are still running.
No gain on the play. 3rd down and 10 now from the Wildcat 38. Wildcats trying to get off the field on 3rd down for the first time in the ball game. Williams bends his knees. Clap, snap, play action, quick screen to the right-hand side, and the Wildcats will stop him short at the 31-yard line. That's Ray Joseph picks it up. Gabe White on the tackle. He's been everywhere. The redshirt sophomore transfer from Abilene Christian. And on 4th down and 5, they're going to go for it.
I mean, because even if you don't make it, the Wildcats will still be in minus territory.
And Miami has 8.5 yards per play. It's 4th down and 4 at the Wildcat 32. Snap to Williams. He looks, he throws quick over the middle. The pass is incomplete. Punched out with a big hit. He was looking for the tight end, Bauman, and somebody on the Wildcats laid the lumber. Looks like it was Antoine Watts, and the Wildcats will turn Miami over on downs. Jalen Lewis also was in there.
Hold on, here it is, replay.
Lewis and Watts, boom, sandwich.
Lewis with the big hit. Reads the quarterback's eyes, see that the tight end is coming across the middle and was able to jar the ball loose.
Great stop by the Wildcats.
From the tight end. And we have a new quarterback in the game.
It's Cam Ransom. Ransom, 5 of 10 last week for 77 yards, 59 of those coming on one play to Javon Ross in the opening drive. Ransom in with the rookie Rodriguez on his right hip. And he bobbles the snap, has to tuck it, and just plunge up the middle. He'll lose a yard back to the 29-yard line. The Wildcats started at their own 28.
Looked like the snap came in a little low at that time, but he was able to recover, protect the football, and try to make sure he doesn't lose too much on that play.
Loss of 1, 2nd down and 11 for the Cats at their own 31 after forcing a 4th down turnover on downs from Miami on an incomplete pass over the middle. 2nd down and 11. 3 receivers all to the right. Ross in the slot. Huggins on the outside. The handoff goes to Rodriguez. He's wrapped up immediately. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, not a whole lot more.
I mean, for those front seven of Miami, even though not all of the starters are in, they're still flying to the ball. They're still flying to the ball. And you have to be able to be intentional about what you're doing and understand that if their motor isn't stopping, your motor can't stop. And if their motor stops, you have to keep going.
Hayden Lowe with the wrap-up for the Miami Hurricanes defense. Now 3rd down and 10 after he gained 1 yard back to the Miami 32. Wildcat 32, excuse me, going right to left. Whistles in a stoppage of play as time was running low on the play clock with 1:26 to go in the 3rd. Miami calls timeout with 1:26 to go in the 3rd. Wildcats trailing 35-3. No timeout on the television, so we'll keep it right here. Break down that 4th down stop again, because every time Miami's kind of had their way with that late check down, at this point it was a tight end drag, and the Wildcats had it covered really well over the middle.
Well, typically what you understand in football is if a receiver goes away, more than likely there's one coming back to you, right? And so Lewis made sure, as he was dropping back into coverage, is that he kept his head on the swivel, looking both ways to see who was coming back to him as somebody had just crossed his face. He sees the tight end, looks back at the quarterback, reads his eyes, and as the quarterback is releasing the ball, he's making his way to the tight end to draw that ball loose.
Teams back on the field. Wildcats have 3rd and 10 at their own 32-yard line, going right to left. Cam Ransom takes the snap, just a 4-man rush. He's going to take off and run and slide down at the 35-yard line, gain of 5. That almost looked like it was a late hit. His helmet popped off, did Ransom.
His helmet popped off. It wasn't a late hit, but McLean has got to come back into nope.
Well, they're going to punt. It's 4th down, 4th and 6. Well, the Wildcats get a turnover and do nothing with it. They gain 4 yards on the drive with Cam Ransom at a quarterback, and he didn't attempt to pass, and
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to understand that was Cam's first series this whole game, and so as any player, you have to give yourself time to kind of calm down and get into the flow of the game. And a lot of times, hey, he's going to take off running.
Max Tulin, he's had some iffy punts. That's not one of them.
Bad,
a beauty to the 20-yard line. Ray Joseph runs around the left-hand side. He'll be wrapped up near the 30 by a lot of maroon and gold jerseys.
Good job by the Wildcats coverage team, getting down there to make sure that doesn't turn into a big return.
Even though some of Tulin's punts off the foot haven't looked good tonight, the coverage has been good on special teams.
The Wildcat coverage team these first 2 weeks has been really great, just for the simple fact that they haven't had any big plays. They've been staying in their lanes, breaking down, making sure that there's not any type of big special team play that can hurt them more than what they've already been just on the offensive defense side of the ball.
Canes take over at their own 31-yard line, going left to right in this 3rd quarter. Emory Williams still in at the quarterback position. He'll hand the ball off up the middle into the A-gap. A big collision right at the 35-yard line and falling forward to the 37.
It looked like Rawls with the stop, getting in there, coming from his safety position to meet the running back in the hole.
Gerard Pringle is the running back in the game now. And a keeper by Williams off the left-hand side on play action. He's going to get a 1st down and a whole lot more. Run out of bounds near the 50-yard line. And the Wildcats disengaging themselves from the Miami sideline to the far side of the field.
Yeah, one thing the Wildcats, I'm very proud of the Wildcats. They haven't been getting sucked into the trash talking that Miami does. Yeah. A lot of people kind of get they kind of get blinded and they feel like they have to match energy with energy. But the Wildcats have been doing what they need to do to make sure that they do not hurt their team with anything careless that can be avoided.
That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. Just one score in the 3rd quarter. Miami scoring on the first drive of it and then kind of slowing the game down both sides of the ball. The Wildcats throw away points with a fumble in field goal range. We'll go to the 4th quarter when we come back. It's Miami 35, Bethune-Cookman 3. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. We head to the final frame at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. It's the Miami Hurricanes 35, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 3. Michael Torello and Johnny Vickers with the call in the booth. Daryl Natil and Sabrina Petit-Home giving their analysis from the sidelines, our Wildcat crew here in Miami. I mean, and it's been a pleasant night, not too hot, not too humid. It's been a good night, and the football hasn't gone the way we wanted. But what can you do? This is the toughest opponent statistically that the Wildcats have faced in their history, and I think they're holding their own in many parts of the game.
They are, and let me say something else about this night. We started on time, not 90 minutes later. How about that?
First and 10 for Miami at the start of the fourth quarter. They have it at their own 47-yard line, going left to right. The white helmets with the orange stripe, the orange jerseys with the green stripe on the shoulders, white pants with the green and orange stripe, white numbers with a green trim. Emory Williams takes the snap, looks, throws a fade route to the far side. Wide open is the receiver, and he slips out of bounds, but keeps 1 foot in for a first down at the Wildcat 45-yard line.
Just a nice pitch and catch from quarterback to receiver, getting to the open space, getting out of bounds, not needing to take any unnecessary hit or punishment.
Yeah, all the backups in for Miami now. That was Nye Carr on the catch for the Hurricanes. First and 10 for the Canes, so the Wildcat 40 going right to left. Just underway in the fourth quarter. Fake the handoff. Williams pitches it to the tight end on the left-hand side. That is caught at the 35, angling towards the 30. That's going to be a pickup of 11 and a first down.
Just a real quick play action. Tight end gets to the flat, rolling the same way the tight end is going. Just a nice little toss to him. Nothing too much. Gets upfield.
Brock Scott is the recipient, the third tight end in the game. Handoff, left-hand side, big hole, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Miami. That's probably the biggest explosive play since the first drive of the game.
Yeah.
Gerard Pringle Jr., a touchdown from 28 yards away, and it is 42-3.
Yeah, I mean, just at that point, you got to be able to play assignment football. And all Miami did was wash the D-line down, and that was a hole you could drive a Mack truck through.
You think it's just a little bit of exhaustion on the Wildcats' end? It's just wearing down here now in the fourth quarter. That's the first college touchdown for Gerard Pringle Jr., the freshman out of Armwood, as the extra point is up and good. And we're just underway in the fourth quarter. It is Miami now 43, Bethune-Cookman 3. We'll take a quick break and be right back. This is Bethune-Cookman University football on the CatEye Network and 1380 WELE. It'll be Miami 42, Bethune-Cookman 3 with 13:52 remaining in the ballgame as the Hurricanes go a drive that goes across the quarter break of 5 plays, 69 yards, covering a minute 57 seconds, ending in the first ever college touchdown by Gerard Pringle Jr. out of Armwood High School, one of the nation's top-ranked high school running backs. Ranked number 148 player regardless of position by On3, number 7 running back in the class by 24/7 Sports. And we talked about it earlier, this Miami program just stacks talent at every position. And Mario Cristobal has this fan base for the first time in maybe 2 decades believing for the first time that national championship aspirations could be coming to South Florida.
Yeah, I mean, there was once a time that every time this season starts, that Miami was always in, like Miami, Florida State, Florida were always in the talk of national championship. And I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the playoffs.
Kickoff by Bert Auburn. That's going to be returned from 1 yard deep in the end zone, but the Wildcats will think better of it. Marquis Johnson takes a knee.
No need to risk injury.
Yeah, that's the one thing, right?
No need to risk anything.
What did we say? Key to the game, key to the game, key to the game. Do not get hurt. And thankfully, I don't think we've sustained any injuries that I could see, right? And, of course, we'd like to have Ricky Shaw, but he's been out with concussion protocol after the hit he took last week against FIU.
Yeah. And I mean, as much because our fellas are competitors, right? And so sometimes when you have something like that, you try to get out back on the field before, it might be time to do that. There's nothing to prove here. Right?
Wildcats will go left to right. They're at their own 25 after the touchback. A majority of the Hurricanes fans have made their way to the exit. 42-3 Hurricanes with 13 minutes to go in the game. Cam Ransom drops straight back, throws a screen pass to the left-hand side. That pass is caught at the 30, turning upfield to the 35. First down yardage near the 45-yard line for the Wildcats. Kamani Robinson out of the backfield.
Good job.
He was actually the leading rusher in that first half with 14 yards for the Wildcats, and now he gets about 12 out of the backfield on a bubble screen.
Yeah, good job getting out the backfield and just getting upfield, getting what you can, getting out of bounds.
Robinson still in there with Ransom. One-on-one coverage to the left-hand side of the formation. 2 receivers to the right. Cam, low snap, handoff. Robinson cuts it back, has a lane to the 40, to the 45, almost to midfield. And that'll be close to a first down pickup of 9 yards. In fact, they'll give it to him at exactly a 10-yard gain.
If the Wildcats are going to do something, they need to do something right now and pick up what they can, how they can, with these good plus yard plays.
That was a good cutback by Robinson as well. Just kind of went against the grain and found space on the backside.
Yeah.
Kamani Robinson, the freshman out of Sanford Seminole High School, getting his first collegiate snaps in this game. Snap to Cam, handoff Robinson. Again, they run right at the blitz. That's maybe the 3rd time they've done that tonight. Just a 1-yard gain right to the midfield stripe, second down at 9.
Yeah, if what happens is if you continue to have success running the ball like you are, they're going to bring more men up on the line and then dare you to continue to run like that. So you're just not going to oppose your will. I wouldn't doubt that the Wildcats do some type of play action while they have been able just to kind of like get positive yardage in their run game for this drive.
Second down and 9 for the Cats with 11:54 to go in the game. Going left to right, right at the 50-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Cam doesn't see it. He escapes somehow, gets to the 50 up the middle of the field to the 40, makes a man miss, 35-30, jukes it around the shoes to the 20, and slides down at the 18-yard line. That is the most electric play of the night for Bethune-Cookman. Cam Ransom jipping and juking and jiving his way to the 18-yard line.
Oh, man. I mean,
he looked dead to rights in the backfield.
No, let's talk about the block. Let's talk about the block that freed him.
That was Robinson again.
Like, last minute, Robinson picks up the blitzing safety, and it opens up to the right side for Cam, and he just does the rest with his legs.
I think that's where Cam can be most successful, just improvising, taking off down the field. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They spot the ball at the 22-yard line of Miami. Cam puts the ball in the belly of Robinson. He makes a cut at the 15, at the 10, stumbling down to the 6-yard line before he's finally chopped down.
We are in the red zone, ladies and gentlemen.
Kamani Robinson, the former Mainland High School Buccaneer and Seminole High School Seminole.
Hey, Central Florida doing the thing right now.
Moving it down the field on this drive, along with Cam Ransom. He's a former Apopka Blue Darter, so Central Florida connection right there.
Let's go. Let's go.
First and goal for the Wildcats.
See if the Wildcats can punch it in.
3 times they were inside the 15 last week against FIU, had to settle for field goals each time. Ransom in the gun, takes the snap, hands to Robinson, runs up the middle, nothing doing there. Lots of bodies. Malik Bryant, the defensive end, first to get there for Miami. He just had 1 tackle last week, did the Jones High School product Bryant. IMG Academy before Jones High School. That's 2 programs with some real pedigree right there.
Yeah. Especially IMG being one of those programs not just nationally ranked in the state, but not just ranked in the state, but ranked nationally as well.
Give him a loss of 1 on the play to Kamani Robinson. So 2nd and goal from the 7. The Wildcats are probably going to have to use the arm of Ransom if they want to get in the end zone here. Clap, snap, handoff. Robinson wrapped up and dropped back at the 9-yard line. Another loss of 2.
See, tried to get outside on that play. Tried to get outside, but I think it was our center was beat across his face.
Yeah, Dalen Russell with a nice wrap-up tackle for Miami.
It was just beat across our face, and you cannot have a successful running game.
Now 3rd down and goal from the 9, and if they don't get it, do you think they go aggressive and try to get in the end zone on 4th down? I think you got to take the points.
You're going to take the points. I'm going to tell you this. I think on that first play within the red zone, he should have pulled it because everybody went down.
Yeah, everybody was washing to the left, right? If he pulls it and goes back around to the right, he's got space.
Space. He has space to get in and run.
I'll tell you what, 2 years ago when the Wildcats were here, that was how they scored their only touchdown. It was late in the game. It was on a play from inside the 10. Walter Simmons, on a read option, took it and ran around the edge for the touchdown when everybody was crashing the other way.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the best thing because, hindsight is always going to be 2020.
Yeah. Miami takes their 2nd timeout of the 2nd half with 9 minutes and 5 seconds to go. The Wildcats will face 3rd and goal from the 9. They started 1st and goal at the 6, and then a 1-yard loss and a 2-yard loss, both on handoffs to Kamani Robinson, the freshman out of Seminole and Mainland High Schools.
I think what you do here, you're not running the ball, but you're going to have to give some type of play action.
I'm looking at Javon Ross in the slot right now. He's looking for his first college touchdown.
Javon Ross or Lorenzo Jenkins.
He's on the outside, both of them to the right. 3rd down and goal from the 9. Ransom 5 yards deep in the gun. Takes the bell tie snap. Rolls out to his left, being pressured. Looking at the goal line. He's going to run and step out of bounds at the 6-yard line, back at the original line of scrimmage. And now it's 4th and goal. And what do you do here? Do you roll the dice and try to get in the end zone for your first touchdown of the season? Remember, last year the Wildcats didn't score a touchdown until week 3 of the season. They were stymied both by USF and by Mercer.
I don't know. I haven't seen the field goal
Looks
team.
Like they got 2 timeouts to burn, Bethune-Cookman. So they got 20 seconds on the play clock to think about it. And they're going to run in Marquis Johnson on.
10 seconds.
Nobody's even set. I think they're going to take a timeout.
They're going to take a timeout. They got
6 seconds.
Because
5 seconds. Now everybody's set. And Coach Woody is calling for timeout, and he'll get it. As he ran almost to the numbers, trying to get the time down to get the attention of the white hat. And so the Wildcats will go for it on 4th and goal from the 6.
Brave play.
Unless they were just trying to maybe get an offsides, get a free first down, and then try again, and they're just going to kick now after the timeout.
No, they were still trying to get set up with 14 seconds left. They were getting their package back out onto the field. And I think that they were trying to see if Coach Woody was going to call for the field goal team or what he was going to do.
A little bit of indecision on the coaching staff side there, right?
And so once everybody finally figured it out, we were down to like 3 seconds. So good timeout by Coach Woody to be able to just get back in there to know what everybody's going to be doing.
All right, Coach Vickers, what are you dialing up here? 4th and goal from the 6. Can the Wildcats punch it in for their first touchdown of the season?
Well, one thing we haven't, the thing that we've been doing the most of has been going into the boundary. I'm thinking I'm going to try to go to the wide, roll out to the wide side of the field, give myself
Ball on
my
the
receivers
left
a chance to
hash.
work.
Wildcats attacking the end zone to listeners right. 4th and goal from the 6. Ransom pressure.
There he is.
Forced to escape. He looks. He throws. It is intercepted. Intercepted in the back of the end zone by Miami. Bryce Fitzgerald, the freshman out of Columbus High School nearby here, the former All-Dade first-teamer, takes the play away, and the Wildcats have left at least 10, if not 14 points on the field here tonight with that fumble on the previous drive and then the interception in the end zone. I don't hate the play. Cam escaped to his left, looked. He wanted Voros on that late crosser in the middle, and the free safety, Bryce Fitzgerald, just made a great jump on the ball.
Yeah, they tried to disrupt the play with a blitz coming down, and Cam was able to get outside of it. However, when something like that happens, you have to know where you are on the field. I think Javon Ross ran himself out of the play because he basically ran straight to the sideline and then cut up the field, but that was 2 receivers in the same place. And anytime you have 2 receivers in the same place, they say somebody ran the wrong route. Or, like I said, you have to pay attention where you are. It was a good play by Cam being able to extend the play. However, the ball was thrown a little bit late, a little bit behind. And I think that at that point, you have to try to put it in a position and in a place where only your receiver can get it. So it's either your receiver or nobody.
So with 8 minutes and 7 seconds left, Miami's going to get the ball back after an interception by Bryce Fitzgerald in the back of the end zone. And I think you're going to have to make a stop to get the ball back and have another shot, because they will run the rest of this 8-minute clock out.
Yes, and Miami is in absolutely no rush to do too much of anything. You can probably look at the score with 8 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter and say that Miami pretty much has this game secure. And so at this point, there's no need to try to do anything special, no need to do anything that might get somebody hurt, regardless if they're on your 2nd or 3rd team. And so basically what you're just going to want to do is you're going to want to milk the clock. Run, short pass, get first down. Run, get short pass, get first down. Stay in bounce, and then snap the ball with anywhere between 1 to 3 seconds left on the play clock.
And really the Hurricanes, following your assessment there, need, 3 first downs to end this game? Maybe 4?
I mean, really, it all depends on, you go first down, 2nd down. It's all about just milking the clock, right? Staying in bounds. So if the Wildcats end up, getting 1 or 2 stops, that's fine. It's when you get into the 3rd down territory that you have to make sure that you do not give up any ground there, because they've been pretty good on 3rd down this evening.
Well, after the interception in the end zone, it's 1st and 10 Miami at the 20-yard line. The Hurricanes, dressed in the orange and white, trimmed in green, go right to left in this 4th quarter, up 42-3. As the Wildcats lead points on the board. Backup quarterback Emory Williams is in for the Canes. He'll throw the ball out to the boundary on the right-hand side. That pass is complete, pushed out of bounds after a gain of 6 yards.
See, just like that. Now, the clock is still going.
Yeah.
The clock is still going. Like you said, Miami's huddling up. No type of rush. There's 23 seconds left on the play clock. They're not. If I was them, I would just wait.
Dalen Upshaw made the catch, a handoff late, and it's going to be almost shoestring tackle. Staying on his feet is Gerard Pringle. He's going to get a big first down up near the 40-yard line for Miami, and there's the first down of the drive for the Hurricanes.
Miami is just smooth. They're getting back up to the line, just getting set up, no rushing at all.
New back in the game for the Hurricanes. This is
pass.
Chris Wheatley-Humphrey pass down the middle. Running free was the receiver, Ray Joseph, but Emory Williams overthrew it. That was a touchdown waiting to happen.
Yeah, and I think that's the first time that the Wildcat secondary has gotten beat like that with the throw. Outside of the first touchdown pass to Daniels, which Gabe defended on pretty well, just didn't get his head turned around. we've been pretty solid with the deep ball that Miami's been trying to throw.
7:10 to go, 42-3 Miami. They have got 2nd and 10 at their own 40. Hand off to Wheatley Humphrey, skips through the middle, and the defensive line for the Wildcats has just been beat up as the pile moves all the way into Wildcat territory at the 45-yard line. Chris Wheatley Humphrey, the redshirt freshman from Dania Beach and South Broward High School. Hovered around number 50 running back in the nation coming out of high school last year. Last year, just one game played, 1 carry, 7 yards was against Florida A&M. And now against Bethune-Cookman, his 2nd college appearance, 1st and 10, just across the 50 for Miami. Humphrey again into the pile of bodies. That time not a lot doing for the freshman rusher.
Yeah, just like I said, just a very methodical drive from the Hurricanes. Nothing special. And they're just running, and really, folks, they're just running downhill into the teeth of our defense.
Isaiah Washburn made the last top for the Wildcats. 2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard gain. Pass play, Williams underneath route, complete near the 40. They'll stop him at the 43-yard line. Didn't catch a number on that completion.
I didn't see it.
Dalen Upshaw again. That's his 2nd catch on the drive.
But I mean, just a nice little check down, soft zone up front, and I mean, once again, we're not doing anything special.
3rd down and 6 now coming up for the Hurricanes. They're at the Wildcat 43-yard line, going left to right. They send the back out of the pass pattern, throw a screen right side, complete. Blocks are there, 1st down and more, tiptoeing the far sideline before being pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Upshaw, his 3rd catch on the drive.
Missed tackles. The Wildcats a lot of times have had people locked up for a very minimal gain, but they've been able to get out of like arm tackles, shoestring tackles, and keep the play alive. So you have to be able to wrap up against this team.
Spot the ball at the 27 of the Wildcats. 1st and 10 for Miami. Williams takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking. He's sacked. Oh no! He escapes. He got the. He shoveled the ball to an offensive lineman who got fumble recovered by Miami. Recovered by an offensive. Whoa, that was a weird one. Yeah, it is. Well, his hand was going forward, so it probably should have been an incomplete pass. The ball just fluttered to the ground right in front of him as
he brought it back.
Isaiah Washburn got home for a big hit, and then the Miami lineman, Max Buchanan, just was like, okay, I'll take this. It fell right into my hand, and now they're going to review it. I would rather they wouldn't and get us out of here, but I think this is going to be an incomplete pass. It looked like his arm was going forward when he got hit by Washburn.
Well, if they do rule it, it wouldn't be an incomplete pass. It would actually be an illegal pass or illegal touching because it was an interior lineman.
Well, no, the ball hit the ground first.
No,
did it not? Did it go right to him?
It did not hit the ground.
Oh.
It did not hit the ground.
I'd have to see. I didn't really catch the replay.
Yeah, so it would be.
Let's see it again.
See, watch.
So Washburn does a great job
his hand
getting inside. The hand comes forward, and it just lands in Alpha Luti's lap.
So if it's deemed a fumble, it's just a lineman in the right place at the right time. If they deem it that his hand was coming, if his arm was coming forward, then it's a penalty, and he illegal touching because you cannot pass it to the interior lineman.
S.J. Alfaluti actually got beat on the play by Washburn. He's the reason why it was almost a sack.
Absolutely.
And then he was following Washburn as he hit Emory Williams, and the ball just bounced off of, Clark for the Wildcats. Bounced off Clark's, back of his jersey and landed in the breastbasket of Alfalufi.
Yeah, and I'm surprised the ref didn't see this holding from the center, the Miami center.
Well, yeah, he had him by the back of his jersey, man. That was like 3 or 4 seconds of jersey.
When you can see the pulling of the jersey, and he's trying to get away, and he's literally turning his back to show you that he's being held. and you still don't get the call, man. I guess the referees are trying to get out of here too. I don't know.
Well, we'll see in the next minute or so as they review this. They called it a fumble.
Yep.
They called it a fumble.
They called it a fumble.
Yeah, and I think that's.
I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
For that, once again, we got into a great position, a great situation, just like last week, FIU. We got into third down territory, and the quarterback slipped and fell, and we fell on top of the quarterback for another. And this time, we get to a place where calls a fumble, but the fumble falls right into an offensive lineman's hands.
This is a Miami team that not only was the best offense in the FBS last year, as we mentioned, 42 points a game, over 530 yards a game. 7 Hurricanes were picked in the NFL draft, including #1 overall pick quarterback Cam Ward. That was the 3rd #1 overall pick in Hurricanes history. And, of course, they go out and get maybe the best quarterback in the country to replace him in Carson Beck.
I know, right? I mean, what is I don't even know, do you call it an upgrade, or do you call it just remaining consistent, going from Ward to Beck, because Beck's control of this game has been, like, impeccable.
I mean, if I'm Emory Williams, right, you think you're sitting behind a guy like Ward, and then he graduates, and now you're all set to go. And, oh, look, we've just got the Georgia quarterback in the flat, pass complete to the tight end, broken tackle, right side of the numbers 20, finally pushed out of bounds by Clark, is the tight end, Dalen Upshaw.
I mean...
No, check that. Vinny Gonzalez.
I mean, just like have to play contain.
2 missed tackles. 2 missed tackles on that.
Missed tackles, and here's Stephen Sparrow getting his nose to the ball, but instead of wrapping up, he just kind of throws his body at him. But he's been playing hard this whole game. He might be gassed, but still, you got to do what you're supposed to do.
Canes in the red zone again. Spot the ball at the Wildcat 13-yard line. Emory Williams hands the ball off to the left-hand side. Big, hard hit by the Cats. Doesn't get much of anything on that one.
Stephen Sparrow is upset. He's fussing at the ref, asking, like, hey, man, you didn't see that hold? I was literally coming, had him in the hand to make the tackle, and I got pulled and literally turned around.
Chris Wheatley Humphrey on the carry. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 at the Wildcat 13-yard line for Miami. Williams in the gun, takes the snap, looks to throw, pressure comes, escapes to his right. Williams still running. Williams still running towards the sideline, and he's going to be bumped out of bounds by Stephen Sparrow again.
Yeah,
he's been all over the place tonight.
Yeah, Williams, he's a talker too, and so he's letting Sparrow know that he's not scared, but just good pursuit by the Wildcats, flushing him out the pocket. Our defensive line taking angles to make sure that whatever he does gain is not for a large gain.
Yeah, that was a loss of 1 on the play. Sparrow is now tied with Gabe White for the Wildcat lead in tackles with 9 on the game.
Hey.
3rd down and 10 now, back at the 13 for Miami. Wildcats trying to hold the Canes to a field goal for the first time tonight. Williams in the pocket, throws over the middle, caught short of the sticks near the 15-yard line. Late drag route by the tight end, Alex Bowman.
Broken up by Stinnett.
Oh, did they call that incomplete?
It was incomplete.
I'm sorry. That's way down the other end of the field from where we are. And
I got a chance to see the monitor.
Even through binoculars, it's hard to call. And there's going to be a field goal attempt here. Will it be Burt Auburn or Carter Davis? It'll be Burt Auburn.
This is the first field goal attempt.
First time we have stopped them from a touchdown outside of that 1 4th down stop.
Yeah, so
we'll take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll return to action with the Wildcats down 42-3 with 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. This is the 2-minute timeout here on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. The end of the ball game is after this. Back at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. It's Miami 42, Bethune-Cookman 3. We're at the 2-minute timeout of the fourth quarter. Let's get you around the SWAC one more time quick. Games that have gone final already. Ohio State 70, Grambling State nothing.
Oh, my.
Southern Miss 38, Jackson State 20. California, after a good fight by Texas Southern, the Golden Bears pull away 35-3. There's your final out in California. Florida Atlantic, just across the way from here, beats up on Florida A&M 56-14. Mississippi Valley is down 59-3 against Tarleton State out in Texas with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. In one of the only two SWAC matchups this week, Alabama A&M 35, Alcorn State 24. Miami has fourth down and 10. No, it's middle of the third quarter.
Okay.
Excuse me. Burt Auburn, the transfer from Texas, played 3 seasons out there, is going to attempt this field goal of about 31 yards. He's a right-hand kicker, Auburn. Snap, hold, kick is good. And with 2 minutes left, it is 45-3 Miami. Getting you caught up on the rest of those out-of-town scores in the SWAC. Southern, at the end of the third quarter, leads Alabama State 28-3. What happened to that offense?
I don't know.
Is UAB's defense just that bad?
Listen, it looks like from week 1 to week 2, things have completely flipped.
For a Southern team that we thought was going to be awful after their first 2 performances, to come out and just shut down Alabama State like that?
Oh, man.
Crazy. Arkansas Pine Bluff is down 34-10 at Central Arkansas with 12 minutes left to go in that one. And Prairie View A&M is down 20-7 at home against the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley, who, may I remind you, is playing their second game in program history. Last week, in their first game in program history, the Vaqueros, who play about just 20 miles north of the Mexican border in South Texas, beat Sul Ross State, a Division III program, 66-0.
Wow.
That'll be a touchback off the kickoff from Auburn, and the Wildcats will come out at the 25. All right, so you got one chance here, really. 2 timeouts, 2 minutes left to go 85 yards and potentially pick up your first touchdown of the season. You do not want to wait till the third week of the season to pick up a touchdown for the maybe second season in a row, and you may have to wait till the fourth week, because I'll tell you that South Carolina State's defense is really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, we had an opportunity that we were not able to complete.
Cam Ransom is still in at quarterback. Kamani Robinson, the freshman at running back, will take the handoff, try to cut back against the grain. Nothing doing. Loss of 2 yards.
Yeah. So Miami's trying to shut us out on the touchdown side, right? So as long as touchdowns aren't scored, this is really what they're playing for, trying to make sure that there aren't anything that we do not score this touchdown in these last
and the Wildcats just may be running this out and trying to get out of here. It's 1:30 left, and now it's 2nd down and 12. Another handoff, no correction. Cam keeps it, runs around the left-hand side, gets near the 30. Spot the ball at the 24. It'll be up 3rd down and 6.
In 3rd down territory. You know, I think that we got, Cam's helmet came off. He has to go out the game for a play. I think let's
see who they bring on. Is it going to be Timmy or... Nope, it's going to be Amari Jones, the former FIU player and South Carolina State player.
So, I mean, we're in 3rd down territory. You do not want to just kind of give them the ball back. I think, if anything, you take a shot downfield. You don't have anything to lose.
Clock stopped at 56 seconds because Cam's helmet came off. Amari Jones gets his first snap as a Wildcat. The former Bradford High School Tornado here in South Florida. First team All-State back in 2022. He probably will just hand the ball off to Kamani Robinson, who has had a decent night. And there's movement up front from Miami. Didn't provoke a reaction, so no flag. They're just waiting and waiting for that play clock to run down. Finally, the snap comes. Robinson, the handoff, just nowhere to go. A pile of orange jerseys. A 1-yard pickup to the 29, and it'll be 4th and 6, and the Wildcats will not have to snap it again. Just 20 seconds left on the clock, and your final score will be 45-3, and missed opportunities for the Wildcats to come away with points twice in the second half. They're shut out in the second half. Again, the fumble after a sack that pushed the Wildcats out of field goal range, and then the interception in the back of the end zone on 4th down and goal.
Yeah, I mean, when you get that close and you get inside the 5, that's the time when you really want to try to put points on the board. I think at that point that for a game like this, I think your play calling has to be a little bit less conservative. You got to kind of go into your bag a little bit just to be able to, set and set that tone, right? The game is out of hand, but there are certain things that you want to see as a team and say that we did this. And so ultimately, you have to understand that the Miami Hurricanes, their goal is to not give up any touchdowns. So you have to be thinking, quick pass, ball at the hands, let's see if we can get a hot route going up the seam, anything to get the ball out your hands, because, a lot of times it's difficult to play when you have that short field, right, when you're going in, because the defense has less to cover. Yes, you don't have far to get, but the defense has less to cover. They don't need to let anything past that line, and if they don't, guess what? You don't score. But at the same time, you do certain things like we did earlier on that drive, that 60-yard drive, where we kind of went in, got the ball out of our hands, a little bit of play action, froze the defense, was able to get down the field effectively. We didn't do that. We did that for 1-2 drives, got away from it, and now, like last year, 3rd week of the season, we have to see if we can actually get into the end zone.
The final score of this one, the Miami Hurricanes 45, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 3. The Miami Hurricanes go to 2-0. The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats go to 0-2. Of course, you got to throw that record out for the Wildcats. I mean, you played FIU in Miami. The Wildcats held to under 200 total yards tonight, just 191 yards, 99 passing yards, 92 rushing yards. The big positive I see for the Wildcats immediately on this stat sheet, Johnny, 2 penalties, 20 yards. Whereas last week, they had 8 penalties for 75 yards. 2 penalties, 20 yards. And that's something against the team that's bigger, stronger, faster. You weren't holding. You weren't blocking in the back. You weren't false starting against the big crowd. That is a positive you can take away tonight. Absolutely.
And typically, like I said earlier, sometimes you get rattled during these type of games in the atmosphere of the crowd. You know the type of team Miami is. They're going to come out amped, ready to play. They're going to be talking all types of trash, and you're going to be ready to get in it and go and want to punch somebody in the mouth yourself. But to be able to stay composed, to be able to do the things that you do, not be penalized, that is a very, very good sign. Because a lot of times you're jumping, you're not doing those things that make you a disciplined team. Unfortunately, we were not able to put any points as far as end zone is concerned, getting in the end zone on the board. And the Wildcats, though, we will say this, it was make sure we didn't turn the ball over. We had 1 turnover. We didn't have any unnecessary penalties. And the main thing about it, everybody is walking off the field. No one is hurt.
No one that we could see.
That we can see is hurt. You have your football like dents and dings. That's okay. You get through treatment throughout the week, getting ready to go. But as far as anyone that may not be able to play next week, it looks like we're going into South Carolina State with a full roster.
Yeah, now and both of these teams, right, have bigger fish to fry coming up.
Absolutely.
South Carolina State, even if you don't win that game, you want to have a more impressive showing than you have the first 2 weeks, especially on offense. And for Miami, I mean, they now have a game next week against South Florida, who's probably going to be nationally ranked after upsetting Florida this afternoon.
Absolutely, and it's like who saw it coming? Like, I know we saw flashes of it last year when we played USF, and we were like, this is a good team, and they're going to make some noise. And even the week after they played us, they went to Alabama, played Alabama.
Real tough.
Real tough. You know, Alabama came out with the win. However, you know, we saw some things with USF and be like, this is a good team, and they're going to wind up upsetting some people. And just today, they go into the swamp and upset the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
And we're looking, by the time Sunday rolls around, that they may be in the national rankings.
Yeah, and the next 3 games for Miami, this will be the last thing on Miami, like overall, before I get to their stats.
Yeah.
Their next 3 games, gauntlet. South Florida, UF, who will be looking for some revenge, and Florida State.
Man, look.
And we said, yeah, eating dinner before we got on the broadcast, if we get undefeated Florida, undefeated Miami, undefeated Florida State, first week of October in Tallahassee, that's going to be must-watch television.
It definitely is, and you look at it, but look at it from this standpoint too. For the first 5 weeks of the season, Miami doesn't leave the state. Mm-hmm. They're right here in the state of Florida. They don't have to go too far anywhere.
And they don't play a road game till October, and they only have 4 road games all season. Like, it's a very favorable schedule for Miami. Let's take you through Miami's stats. They had 543 total yards of offense, 344 in the air, 199 on the ground, 4 penalties for 50 yards, 31 first downs, 4 of 6 on third down, had 66 total plays to the Wildcats, 50. At average yards per play, Bethune-Cookman 3.8, Miami 8.2 yards per play. Wildcats held to just 2.8 yards on the ground. Miami 6.6 yards on the ground. Some individual numbers. Timmy McClain, 13 of 15, 86 yards. Didn't turn the ball over. 87% completion percentage. Again, did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Cam Ransom just 1 of 2, 13 yards. Had the interception in the back of the end zone, but did have that really nice run. Ransom is actually our leading rusher on the game with 39 yards, 28 of them coming on that really impressive third down scamper to get us in the red zone on that drive that he eventually ended with an interception. Kamani Robinson rushing the ball, 9 carries, 38 yards. Nice day out for the freshman from Mainland High School. Marquis Johnson, 7 carries, 12 yards. Scott, 4 carries, 3 yards. Nobody else had any positive yardage on the ground. For receiving for Bethune-Cookman, Javon Ross leads the line for the 2nd week in a row. I'll tell you what, he's going to be dangerous come conference play. 4 catches, 22 yards. Short Jr., who was not on my depth chart, but he's playing for the injured Ricky Shaw this week, came up with 3 catches for 19 yards. Scott out of the backfield, 2 catches for 10 yards, and then 1 catch each for Evans, 21 yards, Jenkins, 13 yards, and Robinson, 13 yards. For Miami, Carson Beck, 22 of 24, 92% completion, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, both of those to C.J. Daniels, 5 catches, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. The leading receiver for Miami was Malachi Toney, the 17-year-old dynamite freshman, 6 catches, 80 yards on 7 targets. Rushing the ball for Miami, Mark Fletcher Jr., 11 carries, 86 yards. Pringle came in the game late, had 2 carries, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Brown had 7 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns on the ground for Mark Fletcher Jr. as well. Wheatley Humphrey, 35 yards on 7 carries. For the rest of the receiving for Miami, Upshaw, 3 catches, 26 yards. Lofton, 3 for 21. Joseph, 2 for 25. Scott, 2 for 24. Ballman, 2 for 12. Nobody else with more than 1 catch. Johnson, 1 for 20. Gilbert, 1 for 20 as well. On defense for the Wildcats, Stephen Sparrow Jr., 9 tackles, 7 of those solo tonight to lead the line for the Cats. Gabe White also had 9 tackles, 2 pass breakups, both of them prevented touchdowns. Antoine Watts, 7 tackles. Davis, 6 tackles. Lassiter, 5. Thornhill and Rawls, 4. Everybody else less than that. The Wildcats had 3 tackles for loss, 1 by Sparrow, 1 by Lurie, and 1 by Gully. Pass breakups, 2 for White, 1 for Stinnett, and 1 for Lewis, and 1 forced fumble by Clark that was recovered by Miami. For Miami on defense, Wiley had 5 tackles. Torre had 4, Lightfoot had 4, Scott had 3. Bain was kept in check pretty much. He had 3 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Mesidor had 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Simpson had 2 tackles and a tackle for loss. Russell, Moten, and Taylor had the other tackles for loss for Miami. They rattled off 10 total tackles for loss tonight. Bryce Fitzgerald had the one interception. I want to get to our sideline reporters. We'll start with Sabrina Petit-Home. I want to ask first, right after Cam Ransom comes in, leads a long drive, and fails to convert with that interception on 4th down. What was his reaction on the sideline like?
It looks like he took it pretty tough, but he stayed locked in to go ahead and keep the spirits alive against Miami, with the team on the sidelines looking up to him as well too, because he is the quarterback, and if he starts to break down, then obviously the other teams are going to break down right after. So you could tell that he took it a little tough, but he remained focused on to the next thing that had to happen. The scoreboard tells one story, but there's some bright spots for the Wildcats to take into the rest of the season. I'm not going to lie, Mike, we look really good defensively, especially against the University of Miami, an ACC team, especially for how we looked in the past with Bethune-Cookman University. We showed some resilience all the way through 3rd and 4th quarter. Like you stated before, our linebacker Chase Smith and defensive end remained pressured the quarterback, forcing at least one critical fumble. Offensive challenges, we did struggle a little bit to sustain a drive, but our QB McClain completed some short passes to move that chain. But the team only gained 88 total yards in the second half. Still pretty good, but, these are some things that we just need to go ahead and work on. I want to go ahead and touch bases on our special teams as well. They played really well, flipping the field positions and limiting those big returns. And, I think these coaches used this second half to give those younger players valuable experience and preparing them for, some of the upcoming matchups that we have, like you said before, South Carolina State. Some of the pros that I can say is defensively, we remain disciplined and aggressive. I know you guys stated that earlier before. And that limited the Miami's burst of scoring, which is something that I think we should be proud of. We avoided turnovers and maintained ball security under pressure. I think we only turned over the ball once or twice, which is still good because in the past it was a little bit higher than that before. But other than that, some of the players, the incoming freshmen or our incoming transfers, who are still getting integrated into our teams, getting some meaningful in-game experiences. Just to touch back again with special teams that are consistent and contributed positively to this field position. If you want to talk about cons, we have to talk about them. Offense did struggle a little bit in our total yardage, 88 yards. It just shows the difficulties in passing and rushing, but it is University of Miami. So I believe, when we get to these other teams, I think those yardage will be able to go up. Defensive fatigue probably would have set in, extended a little bit on the field from, having our first string out there for a very long time, and only scored 3 points. But I'm glad we were on the board. That was one of the big things. Despite the loss, I feel like our Wildcats were able to take pride in how resilient they were in defensively, how disciplined they were, and experience, how just for the younger players as well, and also the other teams, to gain it. This is a brand new team, Mike.
Thank you, Sabrina, and we'll hear from you as we go along with the season. And now we're going to hear from former Wildcat football player Gerald Attil. Gerald, again, we've gone through the first 2 weeks of a season without a touchdown, and we were so close tonight. The fumble, the interception, both happened deep in Miami territory, and we just kind of shot ourselves in the foot when it mattered most on offense.
I think we've had 7 red zone drives this season, and we've only come up with 4
field goals.
Four field goals, and I think we're pushing the envelope. I think Cam missed the read on that play because he could have ran it in for the touchdown.
I thought he was going to run, and he just stopped and threw.
And he stopped and threw it. But we came out with no injuries in this game. I checked before I left the field. We had one offensive lineman took his shoulder pads off, but he was okay. He came out here clean. I think there's some positive to look at. I think you can see the difference in the special teams that you talked about because we played clean there. That's a new coach in that position. The running backs played great. A new coach in that position. So I think that we'll see a different ball club when we get to South Carolina. You played in the big lights last week down in Kendall, right here at in Miami Gardens. You play in the big lights against number 5 team in the country, and you kind of stand toe-to-toe with them in the second half. So great opportunity for the Cats to get some training, great opportunity for some young kids to play. I think the Cats will get better as the season goes on. But I think the stats will show that our tackling has to improve. Our defensive secondary played well. They were nickel and dimers. But I didn't know that Carson Beck, he had a record. He was 15 for 15. He broke Vinny Testaverde's consecutive completions. He was 22 for 24 on the afternoon. So great play by University of Miami, but I'm glad to see the type of ball game the Cats played.
Thank you, Daryl. For Daryl Natil and Sabrina Petit-Home down on the sidelines, Johnny Vickers up in the booth with me. My name is Michael Travello. Thank you so much for journeying with us down to Miami tonight for Bethune-Cookman University football. The Wildcats fall to 0-2 after dropping 45-3, your final score tonight. We'll be back next week as the Wildcats take on old MEAC foe South Carolina State up in Orangeburg. Stay tuned for all the broadcast details on that. We'll see you next time, and as always, hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.